Play Ryza, Ever Darkness, and the Secret Hideout.
Exactly.
Secret Hideout.
Exactly.
Not gonna tell you what Ever Darkness means, you're just gonna have to fill that in on your own. No one really knows.
Very cool.
Maybe we'll find
Everyone good here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ready? Okay, cool. We'll get started here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Go.
All right. So, yeah, so I'll be doing most of the commentary. I'm Lily. I run this game as well. We're going to be starting off, this game is a JRPG, but unlike most JRPGs, to get stronger instead of grinding levels, you sort of like gather materials and craft your equipment to become stronger. So it's a little bit different, it's a little bit more involved. It means there's a lot of like cool routing things you'll see throughout the run. The category we're playing is just new game on legendary difficulties. So this game has 7 difficulties from super easy, easy, normal, hard, very hard, charismatic, whatever that means in legendary. Yeah, Coral's in the White Lily outfit right now, which is the current winner of the bid war. But yeah, legendary difficulty. So that'll be the hardest one. For some context, compared to normal, that's like 10 times HP, which is crazy. It's a lot of extra damage you need to do. And the other stats don't matter quite as much. There's a 4 times attack multiplier. All that means is that after the first few enemies, we just get one shot. So that number doesn't really matter too much outside of everything kills us. So don't get hit, literally. And then there's like a 5 times speed multiplier for enemies, which means enemies are very fast. That's the main thing we have to worry about in this run, is outspeeding enemies so they can't hit us. And on top of that, there's like an XP bonus and a money bonus that we get as sort of like a reward for playing on the highest difficulty. So that is all very cool. And it's quite difficult. It'll be a good time. We're just going through the beginning cutscenes right now. And yeah, Coral will be coming up on the first battle of the game very shortly. It's just a tutorial battle. It's against the cute little slime enemy called a Puni.
Oh my gosh, there it is. Alright, so these battles are like actually pretty easy because the game doesn't know you don't have a lot to work with, so it doesn't really throw anything at you. But yeah, just don't worry about this. Don't worry about these tutorials. It's okay. We'll explain the important stuff later.
Yeah, we'll try. There's a lot of like UI and stuff on the screen for combat, but it's pretty simple. If you've ever played like any other sort of RPG before, it's pretty easy to pick up. The tutorial battles, because their tutorials are not scaled to the difficulty, which, believe it or not, is not common sense for this developer. There are actually previous games in this series, because this is a long-running series of games for the past like 20 years. There are previous games where on the hardest difficulty, the tutorial enemies are mathematically impossible to defeat. But thankfully for this one, all good. It goes down, no problem.
Yeah, also, if you notice like game freeze or anything, don't worry about that. I don't have a great laptop. It can run things, but just don't worry about it. 99% of the time, it doesn't crash, so it's fine. Alright.
Yeah, hopefully nothing happens, but it's a marathon, so probably cursed. Not that I should say that. And yeah, just another tutorial battle coming up here shortly. Just to make sure that, this one's like less hands-on, to make sure you sort of got the hang of the combat from the first one. And we're actually saving one of our party members here. You can see her down there. She's been assaulted by this monster. We've never met, Ryza and her friends have never met this girl before. She was just wandering in the forest and almost died, so thank God we decided to come out here. Very, very lucky coincidence.
That was slow, but that's okay.
Yeah, it was fine. This fight's a bit interesting as a tutorial fight. There's like a large variance of like 5 to 10 seconds depending on your rolls for damage.
Yeah. So also, kind of forgot to mention, like, it's an RPG, it's like a JRPG, but it doesn't really have the like the turn-based combat that you would normally expect. It's based on a timeline on the left. Also, right here we're gonna die
Right.
because
It's closer. Yeah, it's closer to an ATV style.
So this is what normally happens if we mess up. You know, just that happens. But you know, it's okay because we'll never see that. Hopefully.
Yeah.
But who knows? I'm at the mercy of other forces. But it's okay.
Fortunately, that one is a scripted death. It's not a game over just yet, but that is about how much damage you can expect to take from most enemies past this point. Right here, Coral will be picking up a chest. That has a bit of money in it. The money in this game is called coal. And that just helps buy a lot of materials to get through the early game. A funny thing about that chest is getting it right there is actually a little bit of a sequence break. Normally to get past it, normally there's like a giant boulder in front of it. And to get past that boulder, you need an axe, which you craft later in the game. But because we're in the tutorial, all of the interactable objects in the field aren't spawned, except for that, like the gatherable objects, but the chest is. So you can just walk up and grab it.
Yeah, it's
It's very nice.
You'll see like the boulder that was blocking it, you can gather it, and we'll see gathering soon, but not right away. Actually, we'll see.
Yeah,
like 2
the
minutes.
gathering tutorial is in what, like 2-3 minutes?
Yeah.
2 minutes? It's hard to tell. We're almost at the end of the tutorial section. We got through the battles. Now we just have gathering and then synthesis, which is the crafting system of the game. And that's like the core gameplay, because Ryza is an alchemist. So she crafts items to beat on poor enemies and help the townspeople
They attacked
and
us
save
first.
the world.
They attacked us first, so it's okay.
It's okay, they attacked us first.
Yeah, for
Maybe
like
true.
instead of like grinding for levels or like getting like a really strong like weapon or thing just by like sequence breaking, you in this game you build the items like on your own, and you just use your pre-built items to like wipe everything. It's actually really cool how this route works, because everything you build, almost everything you build, is like leads up to having like the next best item to beat the next boss with.
Yeah, there's a lot of like intricate parts, just lots of items that you make that build on each other. It's very fun routing. And I guess I said Ryza is an alchemist earlier. She's not actually an alchemist yet. She is heading right now to the hangout of these travelers that are sort of just staying in our town for a while. And one of them is an alchemist, and his name is Ampel. He will teach Ryza alchemy.
Yeah.
It's fine, she's an alchemist in spirit. She just doesn't know it. No lying here, I promise.
You'll see this cool guy, maybe. Actually,
Sort
don't
of.
know. I think we leave. We leave
We
his
skip
house.
all
Oh,
the
right here.
cutscenes,
Right
yeah.
there.
Yeah, you can see him for like a second, right? There he is. He's basically like, okay, go get me some grass. Ryza's a lawnmower now.
Oh, don't go there.
I'm gonna use that grass to make a neutralizer, I believe. So yeah, we need to get 4 grass from these bushes. Each bush can give 1 to 2 grass. So ideally you want to get 2 grass and then 2 grass again, but
this is looking... Oh, okay.
Sometimes you get owned.
We almost got the 4 out of 4. That was going to be really awesome. Alright, while this tutorial is going, I'm going to up my mic a bit, just in case.
Alright.
Alright, test. Hopefully that's better. Alright.
May I say a word?
What's up?
I just want to say we have an anonymous $100 donation that now is exactly tied for a different outfit.
Oh, no way.
So, I just want to say for the donators out there, if you want to break this tie between Divertimento Embrace and White Lily of Summer, you have, let's say, 20 minutes to do so before we make the change.
Alright, sounds good. And yeah, the current outfit is the White Lily of Summer, so if you want an outfit change, it would be on the Divertimento Embrace.
Thank you so much for the $100 donation, by the way.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So this whole thing was alchemy, but don't worry about that. It'll be fine, because we already know how to do it.
Yeah, this is just the end of the crafting system tutorial, but it might look a little complicated. I'll try to explain it to the best of my ability as we get into more complex crafts.
That's the prologue, very cool. Now we're going to work towards the golem, but that'll take a little bit. We'll start to make some items. Things are now available together, and now we have things at our disposal. Fun.
Yeah, so now that we're out of the tutorial section, first thing we do is we go out and get materials. Part of this is done through gathering, so like that tree, it gives us uni, it gives us fruit. These things are all very important in making a few of the items later. And then we also go straight to shops.
Yep.
And shops are very important in this game. This is why we picked up the money earlier. Shops are a way to get a lot of materials very fast, and they also give us consistent materials. So you can see that Coral is buying a bunch of different plants and wood here. All of these things are very useful. And those are consistently at the shop.
Now these aren't consistently at the shop. These shops right here, I'm gonna need some specific things, and if I don't get them, I'll be kind of sad, but it'll be okay. Okay, I'm kind of sad already. That's fine.
Oh no, oh gosh.
We'll hit the second check, let's see if I get it. Oh, that's not good. We failed 2 checks already.
Did you miss the blue pony ball?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
So yeah, this is the first part of the run where RNG matters a lot. These shops very much can make or break a run. There's always backups for them. You can come back and check them later. So it's not run ending, especially in a marathon setting. But if you were going for record or a huge PB or something, this would be the first major reset point.
We failed all 3 checks. Very good. We failed all 3.
Very nice. No time saved from any of the shops. And yeah, it's only 12 minutes in to a 3-hour run, so it's not a terrible reset point, but it definitely sucks.
It's okay.
But that is fine.
We'll get paid back later, I'm sure.
Time saved for next run, indeed. Yep. And all of the stuff that is missable from the shops has a backup that loses anywhere from probably 30 seconds to a minute and a half, but the backup exists. It's a lot of time lost though.
Yeah, so we'll be crafting our first items here. It'll be kind of fast, but basically we need these items either to kill, for the story, or we need them to turn them in for missions that give us goodies later that help us to win.
Yep.
So don't blink.
And a lot of the routing here is basically to hit an XP threshold. So your alchemy has a level. Every time you craft an item, you get XP to go up levels. Most of the items made here will be used later as well, so they're not like wasted, but it's very important right now to get to level 6 in alchemy.
Yeah,
And you can see on the right side of the screen, the A level, the alchemy level is currently 4. So
alchemy level is like the main thing that you run in this game. Because it's basically like your actual level. Because levels in this game actually don't matter. Spoiler alert. They give like, no stats. And yeah, you're like way better off.
Combat levels just rarely matter at all, but for alchemy level, we need it to make items, which will do a lot of damage, and also it needs to be level 50 to finish the game. So, and yeah, now that Carl's level 6, he can make a bomb. So this is the most basic of usable items for damage. It does fire damage. It's really basic, but it gets the job done. There's also the explosive uni. Unfortunately, the bomb can't be equipped just yet. But after one battle, you'll be able to do so.
Alright, so speaking of those shop backups, we're gonna have to... We go here a lot, so it'll be fine. So we just gotta pick up these like 3 shells every time to make up for what we couldn't get.
Yeah, there are a ton of items to gather here. These Purumero that he's getting right now from these shells are one of the items that are needed. You need 5 of them, but if one of the right items spawned in the shop, he wouldn't need to touch those shells at all, saving quite a fair amount of time.
I was hoping to get that shop check, like to not pick up the shells, but I haven't gotten it in like 2 weeks of derust, so it's kind of awesome.
Oh, 2 eroded stone though, that's like epic. 3 already.
Oh, I keep gathering the Actually, I don't need them. That's fine. This, and then now we're in battle. It's being crazy. Now we're gonna be rolling for single ponies. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, so this is the first like actual combat section of the game. You need to win 3 battles here. Just need to kill 3 of these slimes basically. They can spawn in packs of 1 or 2. If they're in packs of 2, they're practically unkillable, so we much prefer packs of 1. And if you get 2, then you just have to run and reset the fight, which can be a huge time loss because running is not guaranteed.
Oh,
so.
Oh my god.
Did it almost kill Ryza? Oh my gosh, she's at 1 HP. So yeah, I guess I can probably try to explain a bit of the combat. As you see, everyone has an HP bar in green, and on the enemy it's in red. And below that is the stun gauge. When the stun gauge is depleted, the character is put in break. The enemies have it as well. You can see currently the Puni's in break. That means when its turn is up, it will skip its next action. And on the left side of the screen, you can sort of see the timeline. It's going down. So its turn is up when it hits that diamond. Action skipped, attacks, and then it goes again. So, alright, cool, it's dead.
Alright, that fight was a little scuffed, but it's okay.
Break is a very important mechanic in this game. The route completely and totally relies on it. It would not be an exaggeration to say that if break as a mechanic did not exist in this game, the route would look completely different and probably be twice as long.
True. It's really important that you get downtime in between the enemies, and also like dealing bonus damage, and also like giving AP, and also tactics levels. But we'll explain that later. It's just it's kind of essential.
Yeah. The combat system is basically balanced around breaking enemies, so keep an eye on that gauge as we go through the game. The character's break gauge doesn't matter too much, and in fact the party member's HP gauge doesn't matter either, because after these few fights here, it's always either full or 0.
Yep.
So
nice
this game very much embodies the concept of do not get hit. And yeah, after that first battle, these ones are going to go a bit faster because Ryza is able to equip the bomb now, which does way more damage. Previously, we're doing about 50 to 60 damage per item, and now it's tripled with the bombs. Because these enemies are weak to fire damage. There is a weakness and resistance system in the game. It's not really abused too much. Well, it is and it isn't.
Wow, we got really lucky.
Nice. Did you get
3 singles? Yeah. Oh, please don't die. Okay, now we're good. We're fine.
So yeah, one core concept of the combat system is quick action, and then there's also core charges. And so these are the main things that you're gonna want to that you need to pay attention to during combat. You can see on the right side of the screen this core charge meter. It's currently at 6. Whenever Coral throws a bomb, it goes down by 2. And if it's 0, you can't throw bombs anymore. Thankfully, you can refill it, but every time you refill it, you lose one of your equipped items. You get to choose which one, but it basically means there's like a hard timer on your fights, because if you lose all of your equipped items, you're not doing damage anymore. So you need to finish killing the enemies before running out of core charges completely.
Yeah.
The other thing is AP. AP goes up whenever like you do actions or you stun an enemy. Every 10 AP, you can use what is called a quick action. And quick action basically allows Ryza, or any of your characters really, to take a turn out of order. So you can take an instant turn and throw an item. And as expected, that is very powerful. AP is also how you use skills and other things, but we use skills very sparingly compared to being able to throw more, like taking instant turns, basically. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's enough of battles for now. It's gonna be another like, I don't know, 7 to 8 minutes before we get to the next battle in the game. So, 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's like, there's a bit of downtime here. It's just me doing things around the town to progress the story. So if there's any like donations or something you wanna, then feel free.
Yeah, sure. So I just will say that we are still tied at $100 each for Divertimento Embrace and White Lily of Summer. So
Oh my.
let's see if we can break the tie to make an outfit change. And I will say that this is ARCHIETHON III, and we are raising money for OutYouth. OutYouth serves Central Texas LGBTQIA+ youth and their allies to ensure that these promising young people develop into happy, healthy, successful adults. They host a variety of programs and services like virtual drop-ins, individual counseling, wellness programs, and progress support for life challenges. They also provide development training and resources for parents, teachers, and community members. For more information, please visit outyouth.org.
Yeah, awesome foundation to be helping out.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, when Ryza isn't taking care of random monsters out in the field, she's basically, to put it nicely, doing chores for the townspeople. So that's basically what's happening right now. I'm just sort of running around, making stuff to help people out.
Yeah.
As you would do when you have a magical pot, where you just put items in and get very useful things out.
I think the story was that it was just sitting here until she met Empel, and then it became a cauldron. Oh no, it was a cooking pot. Yeah, it was a cooking pot.
Yeah, it's a cooking pot. She just stole it from her parents downstairs. And her mom's like, what happened to my pot?
It's okay, we're making other things. It's good. We'll save the world. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. They don't know that yet, but it's fine. Ryza's backstory is that she is the daughter of farmers, and guess what she does not like doing? Yeah, she cannot stand farming. She is a lazy brat that runs away whenever her parents tell her to help out and do chores. Very relatable, right?
I think she's just built different. She obviously is not meant for farming, I think.
And of course, we're back at a shop. Always gotta be, like, as we do battles and get more money, progress through the game, we revisit shops every now and then. I guess I can sort of explain the way shops work while we have a bit of downtime, because they're so integral to the run, and they're not, they're straightforward enough, but there's a few intricacies. So shops have 3 different types of items that they stock. They have their standard stock, they have bargain stocks, and they have limited stocks. So standard stocks are just the same items. They're always stocked, and the standard stock updates throughout the game. So when it updates, the old items are gone forever and the new items are in, but they're always the same items. So that's very nice. But that's actually the least useful type of stock. We do buy a few things from the standard stock, but they're generally not as useful. The limited stock, these are preset items that are often very powerful or very difficult to obtain otherwise. Or they are recipes for new items to craft. And these are very useful. We buy a lot of limited items. Have we bought any limited items at this point? I don't remember.
Not yet. I think the first is like... I mean, limited like recipes, but other than that, no.
Yeah, other than recipes, I think the first is like the flour and the gelatin powder later, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, not yet. But yeah, those items are always the same. They do not disappear, I believe. But they also get added to throughout the game, and once you buy them, they're gone forever. So it's a one-time purchase kind of deal. And the last, the most complicated and most important, well, maybe not most important, but the ones that, like, this is where the RNG is the bargain items. And bargain items, basically how it works is each vendor has a number of bargain item slots, and each of these slots usually has like anywhere between 1 to 3 different items that can spawn in each slot per day. So those items have random quality, they have random traits, various things. We don't really care about any of that, just what the actual item is. And with the bargain items, if you don't see them, then you're losing time, basically. If you don't see the ones that we need. And once again, those also update throughout the game at various points in the story. We know when the shops update. In fact, the game tells you when the items in the shop update. The first update will be coming up in, I want to say, like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's actually a fair amount into the game. And that's when Coral will be doing a bunch more shopping, because the first update comes basically right before the first major boss. And yeah, need to do a lot of shopping for that. Yeah, basically the bargain items, very RNG heavy. You can always reset the shops. So if you sleep a day, go to the next day, the shop stock will refresh, and you can check to see if your item is there. If it's not, then just repeat. This can lose a lot of time if you get unlucky, but there's not really another option. If you need a specific item, you need that item, so.
I got mega shafted on Uni. I had to go back.
Oh my gosh.
It's good.
And yeah, there's just various RNG with like gathering and getting the right items throughout the game. Most of it is like inconsequential on its own, but if you get like, if enough goes wrong, it really starts adding up, right? So getting a perfect run in this game, due to the length and the amount of like different items you need to get, is actually quite difficult. So yeah, Right now, Coral's just started the first like major crafting session of the run. He'll be crafting items up to for a few more minutes. This is basically to prepare for the first like difficult battle in the game. I wouldn't really call it a boss. If you're not on Legendary, you don't even really notice this enemy exists.
Yeah,
because it's more like a normal enemy.
This fight's super consistent, which is nice, because the rest
Yeah.
aren't.
Yeah. But yeah, this is the first, like, basically wall on this difficulty. A lot of people that play this difficulty casually get stuck here or on the first boss that's after this. But usually here. This fight's quite difficult. Thankfully, abusing stun, we have a very consistent route through the fight, so that'll be fun to see.
If you've been wondering like what I've been throwing into the synthesis, like you've been noticing, or I don't know if you've been noticing, but we've been using all the stuff that we collected from the 2 quests we completed, like from the shopping, like everything. We've used almost everything we could to start this like first big synth session, and everything here I'm pretty sure is used later on, either in a mission or just to like have. So really cool.
Yep, cutting time down in this game is very much about making sure you don't get more than you need to. Just hitting the perfect breakpoints for item gathering. And I guess I should start trying to explain the crafting system.
Before you do that, can I hop in really quick?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Great. So we got a $2 anonymous donation. So $2 puts Divertimento Embrace just a little bit above White Lily of Summer, and we've hit our 30-minute mark. So as soon as you have the opportunity, if you could switch to the Divertimento Embrace outfit.
Sure.
Coral. Coral.
Okay, we can fix this. Don't worry. We gotta change outfits first, but we can fix this.
So Coral just made a big mistake. He was making a better bomb, because you can improve items by getting more materials added to them, and he accidentally forgot to add one of the materials, meaning he didn't hit the breakpoint to increase the damage from the bomb, which is pretty necessary to win the next fight. Can you afford to use another honey there? I guess you kind of have to, right?
Yeah, but I'm gonna go and regather. I'm not gonna risk it.
Can you regather for the honey?
It's just beehives and... I mean, you can
Yeah.
make more red supplement, right? Yeah, I just need crimson orange.
Yeah, it'll probably be fine. So yeah. Oh yeah, the loading when changing costumes is pretty bad.
I swear I preloaded. I swear.
So yeah, we're gonna have the first major backup here. If you make mistakes while crafting, it can really, really throw a wrench or even just completely ruin your run. Because some materials are not replaceable or not easily replaceable based on where they come from or how much effort we've put into making them. So this will lose a little bit of time.
I hope my game works. If my, like in the next minute, if it doesn't, I have a backup save to this point. So if we need to, we can just do that.
Should be fine, right?
I hope.
That moment when loading. So yeah, if you want, make sure to donate to break his game. Very, very spicy bid war going on. To get more of these loading screens in.
Alright, I'm gonna force the game off and we'll just go to a backup save at this point.
Alright, yeah, it sounds like the best course of action. That's unfortunate.
It's okay, I messed up the synth, but it's okay, because my game crashed anyway, so...
I guess I can take some time and try and explain crafting at the Dragon Synth, huh?
Oh yeah, sure.
Hopefully we can get the costume switched when you reload and it's not a problem.
Is it not to, like, I'm very clueless. Is this gonna happen like every time there's a costume change?
I hope not.
No,
This is the first time
it
it's happened.
shouldn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were testing it before the you were testing it before we started, right? And it was
Yeah,
fine.
and it was fine. It's quite unfortunate. I hope my game loads. No.
Technical difficulties. Just marathon things.
Yeah, if you have any like donations or anything you want to say, go for it.
Sure, yeah. I will say a few things. For those who don't know what this is, but this is ARCHIETHON. We are a Celeste community channel, speedrunning marathon here, hosted by Celeste runners playing certain unique Celeste categories, which you saw a lot of today, and a variety of other games. So if you want more content, well, maybe not like this, since this is not Celeste, but if you want regular Celeste content, be sure to follow the channel for events like bingo tournaments or other special events like that. Also, you can check out at CelesteCommunity on Twitter or join the Discord by typing !Discord in the chat. And I will say that tomorrow is another day of ARCHIETHON, so don't think that you've missed it just by being here right now. There is a whole day coming up tomorrow full of many, many more games that are sure to be very exciting. I am very much looking forward to tomorrow. A lot of the runs are very exciting in my opinion.
Oh yeah, shoutouts to the Pet the Pup tourney, don't miss that. There's a ARCHIETHON classic.
Will be fire. Alright.
Alright, just
Loading
gotta get
in.
through these loading screens.
Heck.
Alright.
It's fine, it's fine. At least we have backup saves.
There we go. Okay. Jesus. I'm scared to switch the costumes, but I'll try. I don't know if I want to try one more time.
You gotta do it.
I gotta do it. People paid for it. They paid a lot of money for it.
I guess the alternative is we just force people to donate to the original costume that you don't have to change, you know?
Alright, hello. Okay, we're back.
Nice.
Alright, take two.
Surely the game will like you this time.
My frog is paused.
not broken again, is it?
Oh god. Oh god.
I believe in your laptop.
It's chugging. It's trying. It's her. Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
But it like
We can continue the run, guys. Surely I'll
Let's
still be
go.
underestimated.
Let's
hope.
go.
Alright, that's all the time loss we've been allotted.
Oh no! Oh no! Hello? Am I still alive? Oh, Hello?
Hello.
Okay,
Is your computer dying?
just a tiny bit, but it's okay, hopefully.
Alright, I believe. Yeah, unfortunately,
My audio is going crazy.
unfortunately this game is not the best optimized for PCs. It is, after all, a console port, so...
Alright,
Alright, we good now?
we're good now. Hopefully.
I hope so. So yeah, a bunch more gathering here, just getting items that will be useful later in the run. Like this fruit right here is useful for basically grinding XP. Gonna get a lot of those. And right in this cave is the first, I guess, real battle of the run. Ryza and her friends have been tasked with getting some ore from this cave, and the only way to get it is to defeat some golems. But not these weak golems you see walking around up here. There's a stronger one further in, so...
Oh, nice. Okay, that was a good
And
gather,
before
aren't
that... Nice.
So we got
I
4
just gotta
fairy
get a
stone
few
crystals
items.
and 4 silk grass, or 3 silk grass. We need for later. Alright, first
Very
fight.
cool. And dying here is pretty detrimental to the run, because you have gathered a ton of items, but when you die, you lose basically half your items at random that you've gathered since the last time you've been back. So, but thankfully this fight is mostly pretty scripted, with the items available to us at this point. And if you have the right strat, it goes pretty well. So the 2 items that Coral is using, he's using a craft, which Tao and Lent have equipped, being the 2 boys, and Ryza has a bomb. So the craft is one of the most powerful early game items. You can see when it gets thrown, it doesn't do that much damage, but what it does do is a ton of stun damage. And that's very important, because you do want to keep the enemies stun-locked. Because if you take damage, you die. It also hits both enemies, so you don't have to really worry about not having one stunned when you're throwing crafts, because as long as one of them is stunned, the other is stunned. So yeah. One of them died first, that's the one the bomb was hitting, and the other one goes down very quickly.
Yeah, that was a perfect fight.
Yep, very good fight. It doesn't look tight, but it's pretty difficult when you... Like, that fight's pretty difficult when you're first getting started. A single mistake and they will get a turn and one-shot you. They are very fast,
Yeah.
the enemies, so...
I'll vouch for that. First time I was trying to learn this game, that fight took me like 2 days to learn, just because the timeline system, it was so fast.
Yep. You have to do a lot of switching between your different characters, which is... It doesn't sound hard, but doing it at the right time and doing it quickly and just knowing what you have to do is it's just a lot of information that you need to be thinking about all at once very quickly. There's a lot of pressure because the enemies do move very fast, so...
Nope, don't go outside. Go back inside.
Yep.
So we made a thing earlier, we know Blessing Way meant. We turned that into her now before she even asks us, which is nice. And then go over here. We're gonna be doing a lot of, at this story at this point is that, we're trying to get Claudia's dad, we're trying to convince him to go with us on adventures because, they just want to. And now we just like do a lot of quests and things for the town. And it's at this point that like the first big bad. But we skip all those cutscenes so you'll never see it. There's 4 of cutscenes in a row and you get to see none of them.
Yeah, Claudia's the girl we saved in the forest earlier. She's not in the party yet, but basically, yeah, trying to convince her dad to let her come with us, and she is a very invaluable party member. She has a few big benefits. One, she's very cute.
True.
And 2, she has the most powerful ability in the game. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but she has a unique skill. I'll explain it more when we get to the boss where it's actually used, but she's integral to the run. We'll just say that having her in the party doubles our damage.
Yeah, I'm also wearing her outfit right now. Very cool.
Yep. And for this section, it's basically just like her dad is just, as long as you prove yourself capable or whatever, I'll let you have her. You know, very, very strict parenting. So Ryza and friends are just running around town basically doing chores for the next 10 minutes. In fact, if you have any donations or want to say anything, that would be a good time.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let me just... Oh, you heard a cat little meow there. Great. Oh, we do have an $98 anonymous donation that says, maybe let's not change the costume again. And
thank you very much.
Yeah, that one does go to Verdimento Embrace, so now that's definitely in a solid lead here. So yeah, let's keep donating to that one. Just
$98 donation.
Yeah, very cool. I do want to mention the next milestone we have coming up, since we were talking about stuff that's coming up tomorrow, and the Pet the Pups tournament is happening tomorrow. We do have a Champion of Champions milestone coming up at $8,000. So if that means what I think it means, I think we're going to have one final Pet the Pup gauntlet going on versus last year's champion. So that would be very exciting to watch.
Yeah. I kind of want to spoil it, but I won't spoil it. But the winner last year fought very hard. I think that whole bracket was crazy. I think I saw like 3 10-9s from quarters to finals. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and if you have no idea what we're talking about, tune in tomorrow to watch Pet the Pup.
True.
Indeed. And so yeah, right now, Carl's just spamming items. No effort needs to be put into these specific items that he's making, so you just put in the bare minimum of materials and go. And all these items are going to be used basically to kind of fix up a base a building out in the forest that's going to become our new base. Because Ryza does not like being nagged by her parents. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. So she basically just moves out.
Yeah, we're just like actually building a house right now.
Yeah. And that'll be the main base for the rest of the game to this point.
What if you want to go on adventures with me? Then you're gonna have to ask my parents and do the same thing. You have to prove yourself. I'm sorry. On the way to the hideout, we gather things. You see on the top right, there's a little pop-up. Find some mysterious power. We're gonna be doing some of those like little sub quests because they give us good stat boosts to help kill things. And it's on the way, so it doesn't waste that much time. And you can use it later in grinding off me level. It's really a win-win-win. Triple.
Yeah. It's very important to make efficient use of your time when gathering things. So it's very important to get things when they're like on the way somewhere else. And hopefully you get everything you need on the first pass, because if you don't, then you have to backtrack. It's very unfortunate.
So yeah, we just built a house. Look at that. We just built a house. It's so easy.
There's nothing that Ryza cannot do.
So true. Alright, so now, just shortly, I think it's either after this. I'm pretty sure we get fast travel.
Yeah, right after the next few cutscenes, we will not have to run around everywhere anymore. It'll be very nice.
That does mean you're gonna hear Ryza say a certain voice line a lot. So just be mindful that if you haven't already been included into like all of the alchemy we've been doing and all the same voice line she says, there's gonna be one more awesome voice line for you to hear throughout the next 2 hours. It's chest.
Just another chest with money in it. Very cool. We do need plenty of money. As I've said before, the importance of shops to this route cannot be overstated, so.
I think actually this save file had a blue poonie ball. So maybe it was a good thing that my laptop kind of
Oh
trolled
my
me
god,
a bit.
are you cheating with the backup save?
I would never. It just fell into my lap. Just like that, how that crash fell into my lap, but it's okay. I deserve it. Truly.
So yeah, talking to this guy right here, this is actually a side quest. It doesn't give us anything. It's actually, it would be completely like irrelevant and unimportant to do the side quest, except part of doing the chores to get Claudia in our party is we need to finish three side quests. So doing that one where you just talk to the guy on the way, very, very easy and quick.
Yeah, that just counts. It's really nice.
Yep.
And
And yeah, fast travel is unlocked now.
See a lot of world
So
mapping.
Coral can, open the road map, wherever he wants. As long as he's already been there before, so.
Yeah. Cool little skip here. Warp to another spot, which burns some time, and then that actually counts towards another day, and you just go back to Claudia's house, and now it's just like nothing happened. It's just like a whole day passed.
Yeah, a lot of events in the game are basically like, okay, I'm talking to you, can you come back tomorrow and talk to me again? So that'll be a thing for a few events in a row. And as long as you have done everything correctly up to this point, you'll get here at a certain time of night, and that will allow you to basically efficiently pass to the next day to get the next event without having to like go back to your base and sleep in the bed, which would take a lot more time.
Oh, I got good materials on this here. So this soft rubber stone, it's like you have to make it, but instead of just making it like willy-nilly, you actually need to have a certain quality to it, and it can get kind of dicey if you don't have the right, if you don't have high enough materials, high enough quality materials, that is. But it turns out I got kind of lucky.
Yeah, so every item in this game has a quality set. I guess I can explain that. It's basically just an integer between 0 and 999. Most things gathered at this stage of the game are between like 20 and 50, and we never make anything much more than 100. And when you're crafting, the quality of the item you craft is the average of the materials used to make it, plus sometimes you can get quality bonuses while crafting as well. But basically, if you got kind of unlucky on the materials you gather and you didn't get anything high enough quality, it could be difficult to hit some quality checks that are required for story items. So that one specifically that Carl just made can be an issue. Some of them are kind of solved through shop items and other things that are consistent in quality, like the bomb that he just turned into this wall is required to be 50 quality or higher, but because of the way we craft it, it's always exactly 50 quality because we get the materials from shops where quality is consistent.
Yeah. Also, just another thing of like using everything that we can in the route. Oh wait.
Yeah, that was one of the bombs that we used earlier to fight Queenies.
Yeah. Excellent. Read too far ahead there. Don't do that. Alright.
Whoops.
Can I read a donation really quick?
Go for it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Great. So we have a $101 donation from Ryunada.
No.
That says Oomphy Dress, which
Alright.
Yeah.
Alright, Ryu. I'll make you a deal, Ryu. Alright, so you donate $100, right? So 10 times, every time I open up the world map, I'll say Yoshi Ikuzo. How about that? Just tell me.
You have to do it, Carl. You have to change it.
I cannot change it. I don't want to buy computer
Just save before doing it.
Okay, we have 3 minutes, so there's a chance that someone will, snipe it back.
Save me, please.
It'll be okay this time, I believe. Alright, so right now, Carl has just crafted fish bait. Very delicious fish bait. The fishermen in town are just kind of like, hey, you want to help us? The fish aren't biting. Because, you know, the thing you want to do when you've overfished is overfish more, right? So Ryza's like, just naively like, yeah, I'll help you out. I'll make some really delicious bait, so the fish will definitely come. And this actually becomes a key plot point later when they use this bait to overfish the lake, and suddenly there's no more fish. And that'll be shortly after the first boss, where this kind of comes back to bite them. But for now, it's just kind of like, yeah, this is a mistake. That's all you need to know. Turns out that people don't always know what's best for them, and helping them out without thinking about it isn't necessarily the best thing to do.
Yeah, the worst part is they're dissing Ryza the whole time. You'll see it later.
I know.
You won't see later, but like they diss her because the bait's not good enough anymore. So that's sort of messed up.
They get so entitled about it.
I don't know. You bring someone that can like make anything out of anything, and then you make them make fish bait.
Yeah. So, the last sort of task that we've been given so that Ryza can have a Claudia's hand in marriage, sorry, a party member.
Huh? Okay.
Basically, we're just racing for some reason against the town guard. Her dad's like, yeah, if you can beat the town guard like this, then you have proven your strength to me.
Yeah, good thing Ryza has a whole world map to use.
Yeah, we are much faster than them, but they don't know that. It's kind of funny too. There's no pressure in this race. There's not like an actual race mechanic in the game. You just sort of walk through these zones and hit the cutscenes. So what ends up happening is that the town guard and whoever they're with basically ends up getting ambushed by one of these wyvern enemies, and so Ryza saves them, and they're like, yeah, you win, it's fine. And sorry, what was that?
Oh, it's okay. Since we have hit the hour mark in this run on the timer, I just want to give a quick little update. We have 2 donations. First one is an anonymous $25 donation put towards Divertimento. So we're not going to be changing out of it. But I think the second one is more interesting. It says this is from a donor named Sad Nata for $2, and the comment says "Oomfy die."
Sorry. Sorry, Ryu. So thank you for the donation.
That is unfortunate. Carly, you better have your laptop apologize to Ryu later.
True.
Alright, so yeah, the race is over. The sort of like just massive cutscenes is over, and this is like the point in the game where it really starts opening up. It starts getting a lot more like kind of like off rails, sort of like just free, like do what you want, but make sure you get to this goal. And so right now, the big goal is defeating a dragon. The dragon has been spotted near town, and the town guard has gone to defeat it. And Ryza and her friends have been told to stay away because they're still kids. So obviously, what could they do? They're useless.
Untrue.
But very untrue. And thankfully, for the townspeople, Ryza is not a good listener. She does what she wants.
That's true.
So yeah, a lot of what's going to go on now, probably about, so Coral could basically run through to the dragon right now and go fight it. Obviously that's not going to happen. This is the first fight. This fight is very difficult. I talked about the golems earlier being a wall when people play this difficulty casually. The dragon is even more of one. So, how much HP do the golems have? I want to say about 2,000 each. Does that sound about right? I never really pay attention.
I think it's like 3k?
Maybe.
Somewhere 3.5.
So, yeah, somewhere around there. In any case, the dragon has 20,000 health. So we are going to need to pick up the damage a ton to make it through this fight. And because of that, it'll be about like 15 to 20 minutes of prep work just to sort of get everything set up to actually be able to take on this beast. It's that crazy, so.
So shout out to the best track in the game, or one of them.
Yeah, the BGM for this area is jamming.
Alright, you'll see me pick up a lot of like random gathering nodes and like random rocks and swing at random things. Trust me, they're all worth it. We need a lot of things to kill this dragon because it will literally one-shot us in any other case.
Yeah, And one thing you'll notice is that there are enemies on the map. We do our best to never run into those. The route does not do any optional battles. Every single battle taken in this route is required for story. So, because battles take a lot of time. So doing any battles that aren't required is just a huge time loss.
Yeah.
So yeah, we skip all of those. Even if they were to give like really good items, it's just so much time it's not worth it. And we don't need them anyways. And as has been mentioned before, the items you take to battle are much more important than your battle experience. So combat levels don't matter too much. Plus there's an XP bonus for playing on Legendary, so all of the combat levels we do need, we just get naturally from bosses and stuff. It's very convenient.
I'm getting rolled on lightning ore. You have 3 and I need 6.
Oh jeez.
It'll be
It's
fine.
fine, it's fine. There's
Really.
plenty to grab.
I can always just like refresh the area later and go back.
Yeah. There's definitely just a huge RNG element to getting the items you need while gathering. Because every gather node has like multiple different items that it can give. And one sec, there's a cat on my desk.
Shoutouts to cats.
True. I got 3 lightning ore. Alright, coming up, after we gather some things in the Atelier, we're gonna go back to the shops, my favorite, you know.
Very exciting. I love shops. So yeah, around now is the first time the shops have actually updated their stock, so gonna be able to get a whole bunch of items that weren't there before. And there are a lot of items to get. Hopefully you get lucky and get most of the things you need first try.
Let's hope.
Although most of the items on this pass aren't RNG. Is it just the gemstones?
Yeah, it's just the gemstones, which I did not get. That's okay.
Okay.
It's fine. It's actually not too bad to just reset the shops for this. Like, the shops run on 24-hour time, so every, like, midnight they update.
Yep.
That's nice. Alright, I'm gonna gather more and wait. I'm gonna gather more and let time pass and then go back later. I did not equip my hammer. Oh my goodness.
Oh, it'll be fine. And yeah, there's different tools that you can equip to gather with. Carl just made the hammer. Didn't really touch on this earlier, but he's been using the scythe and the axe all game. We just got the hammer now. This is basically a way to sort of like get your progression. Like when you get new tools, you get access to new materials. New materials means you can make new items that require those materials. So it's very important to keep tools updated throughout the game. Just make sure you have the latest thing.
Tiny little animation canceling there. We just kind of open the map as she finishes opening the chest. Alright, we're almost done with our big gather session. That's a lie, actually. I have to go back. I have 3 lightning ore. But that's the end of the castle. That's the end of the castle gathering. As soon as I hit the tree.
And this castle is actually where the boss is, the big dragon. Sort of just hangs out in these castle ruins, so not done here quite yet.
I actually have
We'll
to
be
reach over
back
for a flower.
shortly.
There we go. Okay, and then we're gonna go to this. Oh wait, no, wait, no. There's a better backup. 4. I just need 2 more. I almost got the funny cuts.
Whoops.
Alright, 1 more. There we go. Alright.
Nice.
Oh, it's 0 a.m. Let's go to the shops.
Perfect timing.
Now it's 3 a.m. Let's go. Hopefully we get it here. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to just like go in between my alchemy because synthing things does make time pass. And did not get it. That is that stinks. Yeah, let's go make
I would
things.
just sleep personally because leaving the menu is like such pain. But yeah.
I'll do one more reset. I'll do one more.
And yeah, this is where you really start to notice shop RNG. He's basically just looking for one specific item from the shop. And it's, I want to say it's a 50% chance to spawn this one. It only shares the slot with one other item, right?
Yay. We did it. 3rd try. Very cool.
Awesome.
Better than 6th try. I think I got one of those in my runs. Alright, now we can go into the big synthesizing section. So I'll be kind of not talking for most of this because I need to make sure I don't reduce anything important, which I've done before. But yeah.
So crafting is, the menuing is, as you could expect, very intensive. Requires a lot of focus. Because if you do make mistakes, you lose a lot of time for mistakes. Because we do get the bare minimum. So wasting materials means you have to go replace those materials. And replacing materials is not easy. You have to know all the backups. A lot of things we get are one time, especially if you waste some of those, that's very bad. That might be run killing if you waste a one-time material. So right now, Coral is just prepping some stuff for a future synthesis. This cloth is actually something we made earlier, and it's being there's a mechanic in the game called rebuild, where you can basically go into items you have previously made, and with a few restrictions you can add more materials to them to sort of like bring them up to your current level. It's very powerful, and so basically he's made that item even better, and that will allow us to do some crafting that normally would be very difficult to do at this level, just because that item is so good. It also gets us XP. For this section, he'll be making a bunch of things. The end goal here is to get alchemy level to at least 20. Every 10 levels you got for crafting, you can add an extra item when you're making things. So you can sort of see that while he's crafting, at the bottom you have choose quantity, and it'll say an amount of times. That's how many items you can add. And the more items you can add, the more powerful you can make things, because you can fill in more of these circles, basically. And filling in more circles, each one basically adds an effect to the item. So there's various different things they can do. Sometimes you just increase the quality, which isn't too important, but you need to go through those ones to get to the better ones, because you have to go through them basically in order. They unlock one after the other. And the really powerful circles basically change how the items work, kind of, or improve their base effects. So right now, he's not really focusing on that for these items, but like, let's say if he was making a bomb or something, he would need to fill in more circles to make the bomb do more damage, basically.
Yep.
But currently, he's just grinding XP, because we do need to be at alchemy level 20 to get that extra item to add to things. Because without enough items, without being able to add enough items, you can't make the best items, right? So
You can see how
just
like
unlocking that ability, and we'll be able to go through and make the good gear for the boss. And yeah, what were you saying?
you can see how like precise the route was there, because I got alchemy level 20 with no spares, no spare XP.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary actually. It's always scary.
Yeah, and you can see for this item, he's level 20 and he just used all of the, he just put everything he could into it. Basically maxed it out. And this item, Zettel, it's paper basically, is very important because it has a property, you have to get down to that last circle, and that last circle is quantity plus 1. Which basically means when you use it while crafting another item, you get an extra of that item as your finished product. So when you're making bombs, it's very useful because when you make bombs, you make one at a time. But if you use Zettel with quantity plus 1 while making that bomb, then you get an extra one at the end. Or if you use 2 of them, then you get 2 extra ones and so on. So that's something that we abuse a lot in this run, is getting extra quantity while making things, so that we only have to make them once, because we have 3 party members, so every piece of gear, every bomb we make, for the most part, we need 3 of them. And this sugar that Carl just made is the same thing. It's just a different item type, so it can be used to make different things. So that also has quantity on it, and that'll be used to make accessories like rings, so basically equipment. And it basically, yeah, it just shaves off a lot of time to have these, because obviously making an item once is faster than making it 3 times. And what Curl is making right here is called a Thorny Embrace. He needs to get this effect 4, that last circle. Basically what that does, this is a debuff item that he can throw, and getting that effect on it, that last circle, will basically make enemies weak to ice damage. So, very powerful. When an enemy is weak to damage in this game, a damage type, it means they take double damage from that damage type. So it's just very good to stack things like that. And right here, he's filling out effects for this craft. I mentioned earlier, craft is a very overpowered item in this game for early. And the reason why that is, it doesn't do very much damage, but it does a ton of stun damage. So we're using 2 Zettel here, so that we'll have 3 of them at the end. And this item is very important. It's basically been crafted in a way so that it does increase stun damage, and it also knocks enemies back. And this basically all just goes towards the don't get hit strategy that is so important on this difficulty. In fact, if you don't craft it correctly, its base stun damage value is 225, and it's crafted in a way to get that up to 283, which hits a threshold for the next boss being stunned in 3 hits consistently. And without crafting it that way, you'll basically never be able to stun lock the boss, so it will hit you and you will die.
Yep.
And yeah, right now he's making an ice bomb. This will be the main damage dealing item for the next fight. I mentioned before he made the item that'll lower ice resistance. This ice bomb does ice damage, and we're just filling it out basically to get to the effect that does the most damage. So yeah,
That is not where that
it'll
goes.
be a very solid item.
That's not where that goes.
And right here, this bomb craft, actually, it's kind of weird. This item sucks at this point. This was what we used earlier in the game, but it's a very basic item. However, this craft is very important because it completes a side quest. And there's a few side quests we want in this game. Well, so basically how character side quests work in this game is each character has like a set of things. It's like, go do this or use this in battle or whatever. And when you complete these tasks, the characters get passive skills. And so most of the passive skills we don't really care about, but there's a few that we do go out of our way for, because those passive skills directly translate to just like deal increased damage. So one of them is making 10 bombs, which with the route, we actually end up one short, so we just add that extra one in there. There's a few other things. Basically, Coral will be picking up a few passive skills that increase Ryza's damage by about 30% or so. It's very sizable.
Yeah, it makes things a lot more lenient in terms of like needing to juggle items.
Yep. Doing more damage just makes things easier. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Great, we got a $59 anonymous donation that just says nice.
Nice.
Oh, did we get
Because
to
that brings
6969?
that brings our donation total to $6,969. Very cool.
Good job, guys.
You did it.
Alright, so what's going on now is Coral has been making equipment. Equipment isn't super important for this run compared to items, like usable items, but we do need to make equipment for a couple reasons. Right now he's working on a weapon. This is a weapon for Tau. And normally, like, if weapons were only stats, it wouldn't be important to make them at all. But weapons actually give something very important to the characters, and that is at certain tiers of weapon upgrades, because you get better weapons as the game progresses, you get higher tiers you're able to craft. Certain upgrades hit a breakpoint where they actually give characters more item slots. So you basically equip items to characters, and at base, like, Tau has 2 item slots. But if you make his 3rd tier weapon, he gets a 3rd item slot. And the same for Claudia. You make her 2nd tier weapon, she gets a 3rd item slot. And that's very important, because we need a lot of items. We need more item slots for core charges, which I touched on earlier, but I'll go over it again once we're actually in the battles. Just for now, item slots, very good. Coral also made some accessories. And the accessories basically only have one stat on them, and that is speed. Speed is the only stat that we really care about in this game. Oh my god, you ran into Cootie.
It's okay, I need
run.
Okay, I got it.
Sorry, speed is not the only stat we care about in the game, but it's the only stat we care about in this run. Because bombs and stuff do all the heavy lifting damage-wise. The main reason that we stack speed is basically to go first in battle. The first turn is very important. If you don't have all of your characters taking a single action before the boss, you will fail to stun lock, and you will take a hit and die. So like if the boss acts first, we can't survive a hit. So yeah, Coral's made a bunch of items with speed. He's picking up passives now for damage. And looks like we are about ready for the first boss of the game. Bit over, what's the timer at? 123? Yeah.
Oh, that's actually faster than my deer rest. That's good.
Nice.
Even with the, yeah. Good. Alright.
Yeah, it takes a while to get here.
All according.
And yeah, just going through and equipping all of the items that were made. They need to be equipped. All the gear and other things, so. Setting up to take this dragon down. And there are a lot of there are a lot of intricacies to this fight. Coral will be going for a fast strat, as far as I know. You're going for the fast strat, right?
Yeah, I have to.
Alright.
At this point.
Yeah. There's basically two strats in this fight. There's a fast strat, which is basically... it's kind of like a resource management thing. It kind of skips, basically, an entire break phase. I'll have to just sort of explain all of the combat mechanics, and hopefully it'll make sense. But yeah, first things first. If he gets the fast strat, he'll exclaim very loudly, I'm sure, and that will be cool. And yeah, so what's important here is we've crafted gear for speed, but it doesn't mean that going first is consistent. So the first thing that needs to happen is you need to get lucky.
We're not lucky.
And yeah, Coral did not get lucky. Lucky is basically you need to have every single character acting before the boss, otherwise the fight is a loss. So it's not a game over, the game's very lenient. If you die, you just fast travel back. But if you get unlucky enough, the losses really start piling up and the time loss really starts piling up. Like, you really feel it. And this is what I would consider the second, like, major reset point in the run. This fight right here. Because if you don't go first, like, yeah, Coral's not getting lucky yet, wastes a lot of time, so.
It's okay. He's doing his AoE, so it's faster for me, actually.
Yeah,
So
the boss
generous.
does have a number of different attacks it can use, and only one of them is area damage. The others are all single target, so Coral's getting pretty lucky that it's using the area attack and only needs one turn. Alright, so everyone is first.
Tau last only in marathon.
Uh-oh, good luck.
It'll be
Yeah, so it's very important to keep an eye on the boss's stun gauge here. Coral.
I blundered.
Oh no. Did you blunder?
Wait. Oh my god, I got so
gosh.
lucky.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
I got paralyzed.
Oh my god.
This game's free? Alright.
You are so lucky.
This game's so free.
Alright, so Coral just got saved by RNG, basically. How to explain this? What just happened? He screwed up the fast strat, which means the boss was about to take a turn. But Tau has an ability that can inflict a random ailment. And it rolled paralysis, which is the strongest ailment in the game. We use it a lot later on in the run. Currently no consistent way to apply it, but basically what it does is it increases all of the stun damage you deal. So because of that paralysis, he was able to stun the boss before it hit. Otherwise, he would have missed the stun. And as you can see, due to the repeated stunning, the boss is all the way back on the timeline. It will take turns very quickly. It's quite fast. Like, you can see it's already like over halfway down before he's able to stun it again. But it's fine. It'll continue to be stunned. And when it's in break, the stun gauge refills, and if you clear the stun gauge again before it comes out of break, it goes into break down. So that'll happen right here, or probably already happened, there's a bit of a delay. And break down basically means, alright, the enemy is just completely stunned, it's not moving at all. You have this amount of time to basically do damage. It's just, you're completely safe. So, very cool. And Coral can just sort of spam items during that. A lot of times during breakdown, you won't necessarily be spamming items though. One of the key things that sort of makes this route work is keeping debuffs up. It's very fast paced, and what happens is that normally items don't do very much damage. So the ice bomb that he's throwing is like 450 damage base. But we've stacked enough debuffs that double the damage. It's doing 8 times damage for your 20 throws. So, sorry, it's like 250 base. But now it's up to about 2k. And as long as you have debuffs up, the fight ends very quickly. And very good job. That was great. First
That was so lucky.
You were very lucky. We don't count the deaths.
The second half was good
very
though.
nice.
I was able to get a lot of bombs during a whole breakdown.
Yeah, that went very smoothly.
Alright. Yeah, that's one of the main
So,
run killers, because it's still hard. Like even with it used to be harder than that, believe it or not. We used to be running on some really scuffed loadouts.
Yeah.
Which
That fight's like very, very tight, but it used to be even more tight because it was actually possible to run out of items and fail to do enough damage before running out. So the route has been improved a lot since then. We do more damage now, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, very difficult fight. Coral makes it look easy because he's that good. Although he did get saved by God RNG.
It's okay. It gives and takes. I appreciate it.
Can I jump in here for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
We're in
sure
downtime
thing.
now.
Cool, we have a couple of unfortunate pieces of information. Not really unfortunate, but we do have 2 separate $1 donations. One from Benjaminian that says, "I'm sorry," and one from Amber Loves Archie that says, "Ruined." So
That's
both of them came in pretty much at the same time.
Rip. It's fine. We needed to go past there at some point anyways.
Yeah, what is that? $21 more? No, 29.
Someone-
There we go. 29.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are very close to 7,000, so that would be very cool to hit tonight.
Let's get that in. Let's go. Maybe save my laptop while you're at it.
Yep. Alright, so yeah, first big boss is dead. Just sort of dealing with the aftermath of that, going around town. And everyone's like, cool, thanks for doing that. And then they're like, hey, so the fish are gone, can you make us even better bait? So the overfishing saga continues. And so yeah, we're gonna do that. And all the fish are gonna be really gone from the lake at that point. Although it's not exactly overfishing. They're really lucky that the reason all the fish are gone isn't because they fished too much, and it's actually because there's a giant sea monster eating them all up. And so that's kind of our next goal, defeating that sea monster. Spoilers, it's a shark. Yeah, that'll be the next fight coming up very shortly. It's very similar to the dragon in execution, because we still have all the same items and are using the same strategies, but it's a fair amount faster. So it can be a little tricky. It can be much more difficult to get the first turn going. And it also has less health, so the fight ends quite quickly.
Yeah. Gotta wait a day. And then after some more like running around in cutscenes, we make a monster attractor. If you didn't know, you can actually make that in alchemy, which is kind of awesome. So that'll attract the shark, and we'll be crowned as a hero because we did not know that shark was going to be there at all. Wink.
But yeah, shark coming up. Basically, it's just cutscenes till then. There's honestly like nothing in between the dragon and the shark.
Yeah.
It's like 7 minutes or so between the two fights, and it's just all cutscenes and crafting a couple story items.
It's nice because like if you had a good dragon fight, you want to calm down because that reset point is really brutal. If you're like an hour in and then you just like your run just gets wiped.
Yeah. Getting past the dragon is definitely the point where it's just like, yeah, this run's on. This is a serious run. It is going somewhere. So. What else can we talk about? Oh yeah, we get some pretty fun toys later. That'll really help with our alchemy. That are kind of true. It's debatably like really. I don't know if they should have put that in the game, honestly. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
it's fun, but you know.
We're starting to get close to the point where like the plot picks up and the crafting really opens up. Because up to this point, we don't really have most of the really like powerful tools for crafting, believe it or not. There's quite a few mechanics that sort of add on as the game progresses, so that'll be very cool.
I meant to sleep tonight. Oops.
Oops.
I forgot to turn in the monster attractor, and then my time was all whack. Alright, there's the event I'm looking for.
Nice. Yeah, controlling the clock is very important for the run. If you end up going to places at the wrong times, you can get griefed very badly, either missing an event trigger or triggering one, like an extra cutscene that you didn't mean to trigger, so. And right now, Coral is buying equipment, armor, from the shop. The shop armor is actually very competent in this game. In most Atelier games, it's not, because they kind of want you to craft your own. But it's good enough here, and by good enough I mean it gives enough speed that we just buy it to make use of it. Because more speed is always better. You need to hit those break points to be able to go first in battles, so.
Yeah. We also bought a bunch of bargain items there to reduce into gems. We didn't, did you? I don't think we really talked about that.
No, we
right?
haven't touched on gems yet. Gems are, I guess I can talk about gems in the downtime after the fight, since the fight's coming up shortly.
Alright, so yeah, we're getting ready for the, like we're just doing some cutscenes, but we're getting ready for the shark. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, this shark is, it's coming, maybe. We have a whole city hall about it.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It's nothing compared to the dragon.
Yeah.
Everything will be okay. As long as, you know, Carl gets lucky.
We go first. Alright, so yeah, they run to the port, they use the monster attractor, everyone's like, oh my gosh, look at that big shark. And look at it, it's in the ground. It's crazy. Oh my god, we went first. Alright.
Nice. And so yeah, just like the dragon, Carl will be going for a fast track here.
I moved. Alright, yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah, you'll see, you just see how, like, fast it goes, and, like, you can't really make mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's two inputs to throw an item quickly, and I pressed the second input before the first, and that's a move. And that's me not throwing an item, and me dying.
One thing about this game that might be horrifying to Celeste players is you can't really buffer your inputs.
Yeah,
so
I get punished. I get punished so hard.
If you do your inputs like a little too early, you'll end up dropping one basically, and it can absolutely kill you.
Right, the game
you can see like he made a very simple mistake, dropped a single input, and the fight was just over. So
there we go. Good.
Nice. Went first again. Very cool.
Alright.
The shark is a little rude. Its animations are very fast, so sometimes even if everyone goes first, it's kind of like a lie.
Alright, there we go. We got the fast strat here.
Very cool.
So we're tactics level
sometimes it
3
can,
in one break phase. Alright, so there you go.
I haven't explained tactics all yet because there's not enough time. Everything is so fast now. Like with the old strats, like Dragon, the first boss fight was like over 3.5 minutes, and now it's around 2. Something like that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, right now is basically just the setup phase. Coral's getting all the debuffs up. He threw the Thorny Embrace, which gives it ice vulnerability. That'll double the ice damage taken.
Why did he continue his animation? He broke. That was so scary.
And so right now he's doing what's called an order chain. And this is where Claudia's like OP skill comes in. You can see that when she does that Flagio Lay skills, it gives the enemy another minus resistance. That's actually magic resistance. That's a different type of resistance. And the Ice Bomb deals ice magic damage, so it's another vulnerability that basically doubles the damage the enemy takes. So after that, the bomb will be doing 4 times damage. And then Tau has an ability that can inflict the curse ailment. That ability will only inflict curse at tactics level 4 or higher. You can see tactics level on the right side of the screen. And curse is just another thing that doubles magic damage. So when you have all of these sort of debuffs up, the enemy is effectively taking 8 times damage, and that's really how you scale damage for the speedrun. It's very important to have those debuffs up and manage them. If you're not managing your debuffs properly, then you will do no damage. Which becomes mostly important when you get to the final boss, because that fight is very long. It has hundreds of thousands of HP, so the scaling is real. That shark had about 14,000 HP.
Good thing
The
our
numbers get a little
scaling,
crazy.
our scaling is pretty good too, because we get that was the last fight where we used ice bombs and thorny embraces, and that's old news now. That's old news now when we get to the good stuff.
Indeed.
Oh, I don't
The
have
game,
Stallion.
after this fight, will give us way more options, and Coral will have access to one of the most broken items in the game. That'll be made in probably about 15 to 20 minutes here. But there's no battles for another good, 30 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah.
Not sure.
If you want to read any donations or anything, now's a good time. There's more downtime here after this after that fight.
Yeah, great. So I'll just say hello. I took a little bit of just a quick little close my eyes for 1 second, but I'm here. So ARCHIETHON 3 is raising money for Out Youth, who offer a variety of services not only for LGBTQIA plus youth, but for trans and non-binary adults as well. Their transgender wellness program operates through the KIND Clinic to provide a full range of social and support services, including free counseling, mentorship, and progress support with various life challenges. Out Youth also provides a trans resource guide, a living document of trans-affirming resources within Austin and Central Texas, such as therapists, housing, employment, legal support, and more based on the recommendations from those within the trans community. For more information, please visit outyouth.org.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of downtime right here as we just run through more story. It is a JRPG, of course, so it is quite a story-heavy game.
Right. Can I ask how long it took you to beat this game casually, maybe?
Casually?
Do you remember?
It's definitely on the short side for JRPGs. For me, it was about, I think for 100% was about 48 hours. So for JRPGs, that's very much on the short side. How long was your first playthrough, Coral?
I think I've killed Queen at 26 hours, but I just started. I was just making a bunch of random 99 quality items, and I think I stopped at around 50 hours, and then If you're curious, speedrun.
Yeah.
I took like another 100 hours because it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I think 25 to 30 hours is about the average play time for just finishing the main story, defeating the final boss.
Very nice.
So the story right now, the story breakdown, right? So we killed the shark. Everyone's like, "Wow, you killed the shark. That was really cool." Maybe we won't insult you now. And then next crazy thing, like that cave. That cave at the beginning of the game had water in it. Now it doesn't have water in it. And now we're at this area. This area gets really crazy. This is where the story was like kind of when I was playing until I got to this point, and I was like, yeah, this story's pretty
this is basically where the plot actually like picks up.
Yeah. Also,
and becomes serious.
Banger, absolutely banger. Really good song for this
Yeah,
area.
I really like this BGM. I wish you could hear it. But yeah, we've found some ancient ruins, and you see these sort of like weird, like alien-looking enemies right now around. Like that's a hedgehog right there. Just trust me, it's a hedgehog. Just you gotta believe me. That's what they call it, okay? Those are basically the main antagonists of this game, I guess you could say. This game is actually isekai. All these enemies come from another world, and they're just sort of leaking out through this active portal that's just in these ancient ruins. It's just there. And they will, if left alone, just sort of destroy the world. Yeah, there's the portal.
Yeah, so
we're not going to fight any right now, but... What?
So we found the portal, and we decided to go in. You know?
Yeah,
and now we're here.
No fear.
Now we're here.
Yeah. Straight to the other world. And this world is, like, basically dying because it's just been overrun by the hive mind.
You'll see why it's being been overrun by the hive mind. Crazy plot twist coming up soon.
Yeah. Woo. So yeah, this is they call this world the underworld. But it's just another world dying. And this world has no water. There should be a river running through there, that ravine, but yeah, there's no water here. And that's a huge problem, because funny enough, all these like bug enemies, water happens to be their main weakness. So no water, mass invasion. It's very unfortunate. And coming up right here is the only break in the game.
Alright, I
get
get
to stretch. The only unskippable cutscene. Yeah, Carl gets to get up, he gets to stretch. It's an insert song, so just, you know, hang out during that. It's the only unskippable cutscene in the game, so.
These two characters, they're part of this world, but they just like had a reunion or something. Oh my god. She's so touched. I'm touched too. Like maybe like 130 hours ago.
And now Claudia's actually using her flute for music and not destruction. I don't know if anyone was paying attention during battles, you would see that when Claudia fights, her weapon is actually a flute. Which makes sense. She's kind of like a support character, right? Like a bard in more traditional RPGs, so she plays music on her flute.
Funny thing is, she used to be like the main DPS. Like she would have the ice bomb in old Loda.
Yeah. Before we picked up extra damage on Ryza.
Alright, now we get into a little bit of a weird mechanic. I'm pretty sure it's only unique to this franchise, or unique to like this trilogy of games, right?
Just this game, right? If you're talking about the bottles, or...
Oh wait, that's on Ryza 2. Oh, I'm
It's
such
not
a
on
big
Ryza
fan.
2.
Such a big fan.
You'll be fine. Alright, so yeah. Right here, very important mechanic to the speedrun. This mechanic is kind of controversial, it's kind of bad, but without it, it probably saves at least 20 to 30 minutes just by existing. I feel like it's such a crazy good mechanic. So yeah, shortly Coral is going to be going into basically these they're called bottle worlds. Ryza found an ancient relic exploring those ruins, and basically this allows you to generate areas with passwords, and those areas have enemies and they have materials, and the materials are the same. It's kind of like a system. They're like, discover passwords and share them with your friends. That was the whole marketing behind this mechanic. But these worlds are kind of lackluster, if I'm being honest. Each one has one or two materials, and it basically just lets you gather mass amounts of materials. And all of the worlds and the passwords that generate them are actually hard-coded into the game files. It doesn't change or anything, so we just have a list of predetermined passwords for the most optimal worlds to go gather materials that we need for basically the second half of the game. And it is a lot of materials. He'll be entering, you're going to do 5 times, right?
Yeah, 5, because we want to be safe.
Yeah, so for safety, he's going to go through here 5 times. What you'll notice is that each of these worlds has bitter root as one of the materials, and then something else is the secondary material. So I'll go over the secondary materials first. The last one, it was these venom pouches. This one, it's paper. These are just things that we need throughout the run to make items, and a lot of the secondary materials we get, the pouches, and then the next one will be crystals. They're actually outside of these worlds. They only drop from enemies. So those items are required to make items to finish the story. But if this system didn't exist, we would have to go do battles and farm them from enemies, which would waste a lot of time. But thankfully, because we can input these passwords, we get these items in bulk just for doing nothing, effectively. Then the other item is the bitter roots. And this item is incredibly important, and it might seem like we're getting a lot of these, which we are, but they will not be wasted. We actually need this many. And the reason for that is, I mentioned earlier, to beat the game, you need to get your alchemy level to 50. Right now, Coral's alchemy level should be 23 or 24.
Yeah,
50
24.
is a long ways off. It's a lot of experience. And we don't actually make enough items to get there naturally. You basically need to grind out probably around 14 levels or so, right?
Yeah.
And the bitter root material is going to be the most efficient way of doing that. Just having a lot of a single material to throw into items for XP is basically what this is for. So we're not quite at that point yet, but all of these will be used. And you can see now, Coral is in a bottle that just only gives bitter roots. That's how many of those we need. It'll be maybe even 150 probably of this item, a ton of them. So very cool. Without this whole password system for these generated worlds, this gathering this many of a single item wouldn't really be feasible in this game. So it's very, very convenient. And you can see that he went to the same area every time, but it just had different items. There's actually multiple layouts for those worlds, but that's the only one we visit in the speedrun because it has the most efficient layout of gathering nodes. It has 8 nodes that are very closely packed together. Other area layouts may have the same items in them, but that like map has fewer gathering nodes, or they're spaced further out, or there's a bunch of enemies in the way. So you just go to the same map, so you don't see like the full extent of the system, but it's basically how it works.
Gathering is done. Time to sort through what I got.
Very nice.
Like,
so another thing...
Oh, you go for it.
Yeah, I can just explain the traits real quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so another reason we... another benefit that we get out of this mass gathering is traits. And traits are basically additional effects that you can transfer to your items. And every item has 3 slots for traits. And traits do various things, from increasing damage, increasing your stats, increasing the quality of the item, so on and so forth. And to get a trait on an item, you need to have it on a material that you use while making that item. So an added benefit of getting so many materials of the same type is that we can sort of filter through those to get traits that we need. Because there's a lot of traits in the game, and so farming for specific traits can actually take a while and require a decent amount of luck. But because of the mass amount of items that we get, it's mostly guaranteed that they show up. So Carl's sort of filtering through that right now. There's a lot of advanced filters in the game, and it looks like he got all the traits he needs. The traits he's looking at are Few bonus plus, and destructive plus, and you can see him add those to the finished product. Just select those at that menu there. What they basically do is they're straight up damage. So destructive plus is going to add, when you transfer it to a bomb, it's going to add 30% damage, 30% item power. Few bonus is another 30% when attacking a single target, which is convenient because we're only ever doing single target fights in the route. And Few bonus plus is 45%. So in total, that's 105% extra damage when we put those traits on our item. Effectively another doubling of the damage. So you can see how with debuffs and traits and everything, the damage really starts stacking up. As long as you just get everything together all at once.
Yeah, that's really nice. You might think, like, for Few bonus, like, what if, like, the bosses spawn, like, add-ins or whatever, but, it doesn't work like that in this game. Bosses don't spawn anything. So, it's just a straight damage increase.
Yeah, none of the bosses spawn ads.
Right,
there are definitely games in this series where
good.
Something like Few bonus would be less useful, but not in this one, so.
Alright. Yeah, at this point in the game, like, in the story... Yeah. So at this point in the story, they're like, wow, like, the token rich guy, he actually stole the, water from the people. So that's not good.
From the other world.
Yeah, so we're gonna need to fix that. And by fix that, I mean we're gonna need to do something about it. Because the water that they stole is being used for the village. Crazy plot twist. And what can you do about that? How do you do this? How do you solve that problem? It's kind of crazy.
They need the water, but it doesn't belong to them. But they don't know that. It was stolen like hundreds of years ago, so... Yeah. They're gonna figure it out somehow, eventually. And so yeah, you can see what Carl's doing right now. He's using the rebuild system to grind XP just by spamming bitter roots into the item. And every time he does that, it just adds more items and it gets XP. And that's the main, like, XP grinding method in this game. And what he's doing right now is he's making another one with traits on it. So the traits we got earlier He's adding that to it. And this poison cube right here is one of the most important items in the game. When we figured out how to make that for the route, it probably saves like 5 minutes. Basically, it's a very complicated item with many, many materials added to it, and it does a lot of things. But it'll be used for making the main end game bomb just shortly, and it has quantity +2 on it. And I mentioned quantity earlier. That'll allow for making 3 of those bombs at once, which is all that we need, which is very helpful because the materials for that bomb are very strict. And before like figuring out this method to make multiple of them, we can only make 2 for the next boss, which, as
Wait,
you
really?
could expect,
That sounds so
Yeah.
bad.
yeah, only having 2 when you have 3 characters actually hurts your damage a lot. So it was pretty bad back then.
Yeah, I'm a spoiled runner. I got into the game when we already had all the good stuff.
Yep. So yeah, maybe I guess I can go over gems now a little bit. So gems are an alternate currency item in this game. They're basically a crafting currency. So one thing you can do is it's basically a way to dump items that you don't need. And it's a very useful currency, so we actually go out of our way to farm gems, so we get a bunch of items for this little purpose of turning them into gems. Basically, you can mass convert your materials and the items you make into gems. In doing that, well, it'll get you gems. So Curl will do that at a few points throughout the game.
I wasn't level 30.
Whoops. Yeah, you need to be level 30. And gems are used for a number of things. Right now, the main purpose for gems, he did need gems to generate those password worlds. That was very important. And you also need gems for rebuild. So right now, he's just doing a normal synthesis, which doesn't require gems.
I need traits.
Oh gosh. Did you not have yellow neutralizer with traits on them?
They don't work for bombs.
Oh heck.
Yeah, that's
It's not good.
It's better to take
But
it
yeah,
safe though.
so yeah, you should be fine. Where is the best place to get traits? I guess farming more lightning ore?
I hope
wonder if you
so.
can get any from shops. Trying to think. I guess we'll find out.
I have 3 traits here, and the quality should be enough, so I should just need like 3 regular traits, and it's fine.
Yeah, it looks fine, hopefully.
Okay, good.
So basically what he's doing right now is you need this item to be A rank. Yeah. So you can see at like the top right of the item, it has a letter grade attached to it. And that basically affects how good it is when you use it in synthesis. And yeah, you need it to be, that specific one to be A ranked for later. And it's basically a mix of quality and traits that determines that grade. So you need to go farm some better traits real quick to get it up to A. Oh, did you not transfer traits to your Staltian?
No.
Heck. You can go buy some, right?
Oh, I could. Yeah, I'm already here, but I'll go buy some. Oh, I hit the black pony. What the heck? Ow.
So yeah, as you can see, if you don't craft everything just right, you have to go out of your way to do backups and stuff. It's pretty tight with materials and making items. you can definitely lose a lot of time just for the slightest mistakes when making stuff.
We did it.
And he made these items like an hour ago at this point, and they're being used just now, and coming back to bite them because they're made slightly wrong. So, but it's all good. This one's very easy to back up. And so yeah, what's being crafted right now is the lightning bell, which is the end game bomb. This item is very OP. What we've been using now deals about 283 stun damage. This item will inflict paralysis and also do a lot of stun damage, allowing it to do... How much stun damage does it do? Like
600.
600 or so?
Yep.
This item kind of trivializes stun-locking enemies, so it is an extreme upgrade on top of just doing more damage in general. And now we're rebuilding them. So rebuilding, I haven't really explained it as much as I would have liked. It's a mechanic where you can take a finished item and add more materials up to it up to a limit. And that limit is basically decided by like your current alchemy level. You can see on the right side, every time you add a material, the level of the item goes up. And the level of the item cannot exceed your alchemy level. And on top of that, adding materials also uses gems. He ran out of gems, so he is now turning items into more gems.
Oh gosh, this Dragon Tooth was so scuffed. It's okay.
It's fine. We're about done. And so yeah, just adding more items allows you to fill in more circles, which just makes the item better. A lot of the circles give various effects related to doing more stun damage, applying better ailments, doing more damage. So just the more of it you fill out, the better the item is in general. And yeah, it should be everything as long as you equip your items.
Yeah, I'll do that right on Treasure Shop. We have one more trip to him because we have one more set of equipments.
I forgot about this shop because it was added so recently. I've barely done any runs with it.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Alright, and now we give everyone their lightning bells.
So yeah, just getting a couple of pieces of equipment from this shop because they actually increase item damage directly. So just an extra like 10% damage that helps the game go more smoothly. Saves a bit of time on fights.
Now we have more walking, so if you have any donations or anything, just go for it.
Yeah, great. So to those who are maybe just tuning in, this is ARCHIETHON, a speedrunning marathon hosted by Celeste runners playing unique Celeste categories and a variety of other games like this one. ARCHIETHON is being hosted on the CelesteCommunity channel here on Twitch. Be sure to follow the channel for regular Celeste content, including bingo tournaments, special events, and more. Also check out @CelesteCommunity on Twitter, or join the Discord by typing !Discord in the chat. And I just want to say that we are so close to $7,000. If we can hit that by the end of this run, that would be really awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, and just in time. It's been a little while, but now we're coming up on the next boss. And believe it or not, the bosses in this game do not necessarily get harder based on your progress. This is actually the easiest boss in the game by far.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a joke. Although something funny about this boss is when you're playing casually, you actually don't even know it's coming. You sort of just are like progressing through the story areas and walking up, and it kind of like just swoops down out of nowhere and ambushes you. I actually died to this boss on my casual playthrough just because I had no idea it was there. It just came out of nowhere and bonked me.
Yeah, like I
So
think
when
this... Yeah, go ahead.
No, continue.
Okay, yeah, so this area has like a lot of like new things and new like materials to play with, so you like it's natural that you would just want to go further, and then like you just get stopped by Dragon 2. It's so funny.
Yep. And yeah, it's also just a recolor of the dragon from earlier. One notable thing about this boss is that it's at the end of the zone where you fight it. So if you fail to go first, it actually loses more time than the previous fights because it's a longer run back. So this one does suck to get unlucky on more than the others.
Can I get a paralysis? Oh man.
Of course, also, one thing about Lightning Bell is that to get the suns off, you do need to apply the paralysis ailment, which is RNG, and it looks like Coral has failed at that. Without hitting that ailment chance, you will fail to stun. Happens once every so often. It's very unfortunate. It's mostly consistent, because you do have 3 attempts. Even if you get it on the last one, that's enough. But yeah, that sucks.
It's okay. Surely, my first turn RNG will be better, and I'll get to go again. Please.
Yeah. Yep. And once again, paralysis is probably the strongest ailment in the game. It does double stun damage that you deal, and stun damage is just so powerful. So.
Alright. Good job, Ryza.
Nice. Looks like we're good this time. But yeah, as soon as the paralysis applies, yeah, this boss, Lightning Bell does 640 stun damage. The boss has a stun gauge of 1000. So it kind of just falls over and is permanently just locked. The early breakdowns in this fight, so you can see the boss's breakdown, Carl's just waiting. You do just wait because you don't have debuffs up. There's not really that much point in throwing items without debuffs up because you're not doing damage. So throwing the item is actually a turn loss. And you do need to stun the boss and wait through those breakdowns. Every time you do a breakdown, the tactics level goes up. And kind of just the core, kind of the goal of combat in this game, at least with this route, with this strat, is to stun the boss enough time to get tactics level to 4, and that's when you can start bursting, when you can start doing damage. Because once you're tactics level 4, then you can start stacking your debuffs. Tao can inflict curse, Claudia can give the magic vulnerability. It looks like, did Tao miss the curse, or?
Or no, I had to, it wasn't actually in break yet, so my extra order went pop.
Whoops.
But he didn't miss, so that's really awesome. Tao has
nice.
Tao has a tendency to miss his curse when I need it most, but it's okay. He's doing a great job today.
Yeah,
I don't think I've
so
seen
with
him
curse,
miss any.
and with Claudia's lightning resistance debuff, the Lightning Bell is now doing 4 times damage. It's a bit weaker than the 8 times damage chunks that we were getting earlier from the Lightning Bomb, but that will be fixed shortly. The only source of lowering lightning resistance in the game, it is an item that is lightning damage, comes later. So we won't have this for this fight, but we will have that for the final boss. Yeah, for this fight, it's just a 4 times multiplier. And lightning bombs are also not quite at their peak power. Those need to be rebuilt later to have the best damage effect unlocked. But this boss is easy enough that even with the weaker lightning bells and the 4 times damage multiplier, it's pretty quick.
Yep, fell over. And yeah, me fumbling was because of I wanted to optimize, not because I was in any danger or anything. So
yeah, this is definitely the most lenient fight in the entire game. The lightning bell just does so much stun that even if you make a mistake, the boss probably isn't getting a turn.
Now we get our old friend the Duplicator, and Yeah, you can guess what that does, and you can guess what kind of benefits it'll bring us, because we were using like special item effects in order to make more of the same item or material, and now we just get to do it for gems, and which gems are free. So
Ryza just sort of walks around and stumbles upon priceless ancient relics just whenever she pleases, apparently. So yeah, we have this ridiculously powerful ancient alchemical item where you just throw gems into it and out comes copies of things you've made. Very convenient, I must say.
It was like
it
in a
will be
valley.
used extensively.
Oh my god, first try amberfly, that's just the best.
Very nice, very cool. Finally, some good gather RNG. And yeah, there's just a few things need to be gathered in here. Do story,
This is not where to gather, but oh well.
normal stuff. Probably some time for donations if there are any.
Yeah, go for it.
Sure, yeah. We're just gonna take a little bit of time here to make point out some stuff that's happening tomorrow for those people that are still around. So first of all, we do have a milestone coming up at 8,000 to have a Pet the Pups Champion of Champions special match, I guess, at the end of the Pet the Pups tourney.
Yeah.
Once the first winner is determined through the tourney, they will be facing off against last year's winner. So very cool. Can't wait to see that. Other than that, we have some. I'm going to talk about what we have to start the day tomorrow. We have a Ori and the Blind Forest race. All skills, no out of bounds or TA. I don't know what TA stands for, but we're not going to do that. And then another I want to kill another race. Sorry, I want to kill the Camellia 2 remake race to the boss rush featuring Blue Eye and Ruby, and both of those are going to be very exciting. So can't wait to see those.
Very cool. Coral, I might be clueless. Did you get your forge thing from the chest?
Wait, did I? Well, let's find out. Let's find out after I go to the stone monument.
No big deal. It's easy enough to go back, but the item is quite important.
Did I get the cutscene and just not hit the chest? Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
think
good.
you got the cutscene and didn't hit the chest.
Okay.
Everything will be fine. So, funny thing about this cutscene section that's coming up, you basically need to go to these monuments. You see it on the screen right now. There's a few of them around town. And this is actually routed in a way. There's a specific order that you can hit these monuments in. You can hit them in any order, right? So we're going back to this one, then there's 3 more on the island. You can go to those cutscenes in any order, but there is a specific order that actually causes crashes on PC. I was somehow doing that order like for the first few rounds of this game. It was very, very annoying when the crashes happened, but just shake up the order a little bit, crashes are resolved. I don't believe Coral has ever had to deal with that, so.
Thank you for taking the hit.
Yep. Alright, nice, got that chest. But yeah, it was very cool. I assume it just had something to do with the cutscene triggering in a weird spot, like in that area, just the game wasn't happy with it. Who knows why?
Alright, you love shops, right? Well, let's go to one more. But this time it's not RNG. This time we get a pretty good equip, and we get some...
Yeah, just make sure you don't go to the graveyard last, Coral.
Did I go there? I hope not.
I don't think you went to the graveyard yet.
Oh no.
You can still do it.
Oh, wait, no,
lots
yeah,
of
this
shopping
is
here.
yeah, this is ordered
Yeah.
shopping first.
Yeah. Lots of shopping here. A number of these items are used for late game, and then most of them, he's just buying the max amount to convert them to gems. It's very convenient because we have a lot of extra money, and we need a lot of gems, so... No, graveyard first.
Wait, what? Oh, I already went to the graveyard.
Oh, you did? Wait, did you go before the chest?
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay. I was so concerned because doing that one last is what causes your game to crash.
Don't worry, I had
I
it
didn't
all
see you
under
did it
control.
before the chest.
My notes
Yeah,
had it
very
all
nice.
under control.
That's my bad.
Okay, so let's not reduce my beloved accessory this time.
Yeah, don't reduce the bangle.
How are you?
One of the items that we picked up from that shop just now is an accessory. And this accessory has like, what, almost 60 speed on it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So we just, you need some saltium as well, right?
Oh wait, oops, it's okay. I will simply make more. Or I'll duplicate the one stallion I have. Crazy.
It will be fine, right? It'll be fine.
Alright, so now...
But yeah, that accessory gives almost 60 speed, which is a huge upgrade. And we can duplicate it, so we duplicate it twice to equip to everyone. The current accessories only give 20 speed, so... Very nice of the shops to have that in stock. And so yeah, using the duplicator for the first time, just taking these poison cubes and making a bunch of them. This is very important, because this is how we grind for XP, and also how we grind for gems, but for now XP. And so yeah, right after making this item, the bomb rod, which is basically it's another gathering tool actually. It blows up rocks. We're going to be rebuilding a ton of poison cubes, and this is where you start using that mass of bitter roots that were gathered earlier.
Yeah, you
So
see
you just take bitter roots, and you throw them in a ton at a time.
Like, you see how long I have to scroll down to get to like a 2-element bitter root? You have so many.
And yeah, each one of these is just a huge experience drop. This is the most like efficient XP grinding method in the game. As you can see, after every one, it'll be a level up, which is very nice. Or almost every one.
Yeah.
But right now the goal is alchemy level 36.
Yep.
At 36, you'll be able to make taboo drop, which is an even more efficient item for XP grinding. It's the same method, just a different item that gives more XP basically. So
Yeah, you're just capped by your alchemy level.
yeah.
And when you get taboo drops, you can just use those. You also get alchemy XP for making them.
Yeah. So almost there.
I needed 2. There
Loading.
we go. Let's make a taboo drop. You can see I'm running out of like materials. I think the last
Yeah,
of
the
my
materials go very quickly, but that's why we gathered so many to begin with. And for stuff like this, a lot of the materials we do end up with like the bare minimum of. Depends on what the material is, of course.
Yeah, for reference, I bought that wheat like 2 hours ago. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
Yeah. 20
Gathered
days.
these like an hour ago. Wait, are you missing a rotwood?
Wait, uh-oh, stinky!
You're gonna have to go back and gather another one of those. That's unfortunate.
Wait, what am I missing?
What? You're not missing anything for this.
Or did I just build it wrong? I think I built it wrong.
What? It looked fine.
I think it should have been
I don't think you did
20.
anything wrong there.
I wonder why.
Oh, you just didn't. You put in a poison cube probably without quantity on it, I would assume.
Whoops.
So yeah, one thing that's very nice about this, when making this item, you need a lot of them for rebuilding for XP. One thing that's very nice is all of the poison cubes being used as materials here have quantity +2, which means by the end you're getting 20 of this item at once when you make it, which is just an absurd number.
There we go.
Normally it would cost a lot of gems to duplicate that many of this item, so saving on those gems is very nice. These gems are actually fairly tight in the run, because of how useful they are.
Alright,
And yeah, you'll be able to see
doing the
here.
same thing.
Yep. I'm just gonna throw in a bunch of bitter root again, and you'll be able to see the massive XP drop from this. The poison cubes before were giving like maybe 30, 35, and this has almost doubled it. You just got 64 XP for doing that once, so.
Yep. Back to synthesis. We make a taboo drop. Just kidding, I need rotwood.
I do need another rotwood. And so yeah, that's all of the XP grinding for now, but we will be back later to do more of that.
Yeah.
Because yeah, currently alchemy level 39. You do need to get to 50 by the end of the game, and the end of the game is actually rapidly approaching. How's the pace looking?
Oh, how am I doing on time?
I think fine. It's at 2:26 right now.
I have no concept of my pace anymore.
I know,
but,
right? I forgot the paces. Let me find out. Let me see my splits. Yeah, there's about half an hour left from this point. A little over half an hour, if you do everything perfectly. So we are perfectly on track for estimate, I would say.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Even
You can
with
definitely-
all the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, even with the technical difficulties. And from this point, yeah, a few minutes ahead of estimate with like perfect RNG in play, but perfect RNG doesn't happen in marathons, so.
What do you mean? Triple single
What do you
pony.
mean?
Triple single
Yeah,
pony.
that
was
was
awesome.
pretty good.
It'll be fine.
True. Alright, we're level 40. Congrats. But, we got some more
Yay.
grinding left. But we just made a key. Oh, wait, I didn't update you on the story. My bad.
Oh my
Alright.
god, the story.
The story,
plot's
so now-
actually like
We have a key now,
banging
right?
right now.
And you remember that stone monument? Now there's a... Now look at this. There's a staircase. We just opened it. And now check it out. Check it out. This island is actually man-made, if you can believe that. This is
I don't know if we even mentioned that Ryza's village is on an island.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's water. There's a fisherman. You can... It's a coast. It's fine. Yeah, see this whole big thing under an island. That's why we
Yeah,
had to steal
the-
the water, because there wasn't actually an island there.
No one knew about this. They just like walked down here like, wow, what the heck? There's this just massive ruin. It's a giant engine keeping the island afloat. And guess what? It's running out of power, actually. It's not good. The island's gonna sink. Just things keep going wrong.
They couldn't find this. They were too busy farming for like 500 years. It's kind of unlucky,
Ryza is
but
a very,
you know.
Ryza is a very good and smart alchemy girl. She'll solve it somehow.
Alright, who's ready for more alchemy grinding? I am. Let's go.
Woo, let's go.
That's
Fine,
not
we're almost there.
Yep. Sword.
The end of the game is rapidly approaching. In fact, the final boss should be in about, I want to say 15 minutes? Something like that. Very cool. Just yeah, after a quick grind session, and you'll see these levels just absolutely fly by. For like, kind of maybe some context on how fast this XP grinding method is. If you were to just make items normally, just making like the same item over and over, not only would it take longer, it would probably be like 20 to 25 XP per item that you make. So doing XP grinding this way is probably 4 to 5 times faster than doing the casual method optimally. Because rebuilding for XP isn't really something you would think of normally while playing through the game. You would just make a whole bunch of different items and your level would go up naturally, right? But because we're speedrunning, we have our crafting optimized enough that we don't make enough excess items to just get the levels naturally. So we have to grind. And this grinding method is very nice. Because the game is not supposed to be balanced in a way where you get a single level every craft. That's a little absurd. So yeah, XP grinding is almost done. Probably going to stop around the end of level 48 or so, because there are a few more things left to make to finish off the rest of the XP.
I might run out of gems.
You might run out of gems. You'll be fine.
Okay, I barely got 48.
And you can make steel gear now anyways, so
Yeah.
you'll have 100,000 gems or whatever very shortly. So yeah, that's the XP grinding section. Now Tao is like, hey, can you make me this item to sort of like help fix the engine under our island? And this item is actually very convenient because making this item is actually the easiest way to get a bunch of gems in the game. And we need a lot of gems. Like we mentioned before, gems are used for rebuilding and they're also used for duplicating. So very, very, very important to have a lot of gems to duplicate items. Duplicating, as you can expect, saves a lot of time when you need multiple of an item, so. Probably need about 100,000 gems in total. We've been running on like 10 to 30,000 gems for most of it up to this point. But now Coral is going to take most of the stuff that he's made recently and just turn those into gems, and you'll see that we end up with close to 100,000.
Alright.
That's probably good.
Now, they did try to balance the duplicator by making it cost gems based on like how good the item is, but that's too many gems. So we have too many gems, so it doesn't even matter. I almost forgot to do this. Good thing I didn't. Otherwise, that'd be real bad.
Yeah, that would be tragic. Alright, and now we're gonna rebuild the lightning bell. A very OP item. We can make it even better. Getting this effect here will basically double its damage again. More damage is always good in my book.
Alright. And now that purple thing that we built, or that purple thing that we picked up in the tower, we get to use it.
Yeah, so this game has a mechanic where you can basically take the items you've made and augment your weapons with them. That's what Coral's doing right now. Take the items. We're using the low tier lightning bomb and then also the lightning bell to add some effects to these weapons. And they're very potent effects. The one that the normal bomb gives, it's just an increase in lightning damage. So that applies to the lightning bells, even though it's on the weapons. And the other one is pretty important. It is Thunderclap Seal. And the other one, this effect kind of sucks, but it's necessary. It kind of sucks that it's necessary. Because it's necessary. Is basically the main reason why we're able to beat the final boss, but also the main reason why you lose on that fight. And what it does is whenever a character attacks, they have a 5% chance of inflicting a lightning vulnerability debuff. So that's where we're getting lightning vulnerability from for endgame, which, yeah, if you've been keeping up, that is double damage while that debuff is applied. And it falls off after like 30 seconds or so. So, as you can expect, with only a 5% chance of applying, you run into some situations where the debuff just fails to apply, or like it runs out and you can't get it again. And your characters get a lot of attacks in, so the 5% chance isn't as bad as it seems, but it's still definitely fairly low. So getting good luck, like good RNG, good luck with that debuff applying, can make or break the final boss fight. But it is mandatory. Double damage. The boss has way too much HP. If you don't have that debuff up, you will run out of items and lose before being able to deal enough damage to kill it.
Oh my gosh.
And
So bad.
right now it's just a it's just a normal mob fight. This one's story required. It's pretty easy. This is not the final boss. This thing will just fall over.
Break. Oh, Claudia, you're so much better.
But yeah, I may as well, it's been a while since I've touched on CC, right? May as well go over that again, because it'll start being way more important coming up into the final fight. So on the right side of the screen, there's this little diamond with a number in it, and it says core charge underneath. By default, you have 10 core charges when you start a fight, and every time you throw an item, it consumes 2. And so, as expected, if you have 0 core charges, you cannot throw items anymore. However, what you can do is you can get them back, and the way you get them back is you take other items you have equipped, and you basically consume them. So Coral did it there a little bit ago, and refilled the core charges, was able to throw items again. And once those items are consumed, they can't be used or converted again for the rest of the battle. So every time you consume an item, you get your 10 core charges back, which is basically 5 item uses, 5 lightning bells. And you get closer and closer to not having any items left, right? So each character has a lightning bell equipped, and they have 3 item slots, so you have a total of 9 items, which means you always need 1 left. So that means you have 8 total items that you can convert to core charges, which means you have 90 core charges total, which is 45 uses of the lightning bell. That's your like enrage timer, effectively. If you cannot kill the boss within that many item uses, then you just lose the fight because you have no damage anymore. And while it sounds like a lot, the final boss has a ton of HP. If you get unlucky with debuffs, if you don't manage your items properly or stuns properly, it is very possible to run out. And it's not an uncommon occurrence to finish the fight with only like 2 or 3 uses left. It gets very tight. So that's one of the main things that ends up being difficult about the final boss, is the item management. Because yeah, if you run out of items, you just lose. And with the fight being 6 to 8 minutes long, running out of items at the end of that is a huge time loss. That's basically run killing. And that's the main way that we would also miss the estimate here.
Oh yeah, hopefully I don't get
Is
trolled.
if something like that happened. So hopefully it doesn't. But thankfully the fight has become a lot more lenient. Recently we've added a lot more damage into the build. So it's much easier to like not run out of items basically. But yeah, final boss coming up very shortly. All the prep is more or less done. Just fighting it, taking care of a few like cutscenes, taking care of a few like smaller enemies that are required.
I got a lightning effect.
Nice.
What is that? That's
And
5%.
so,
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah. So one thing you're gonna want to watch out for during these fights is whenever characters do their like attacks and stuff, along with the damage numbers on the enemies, you see all the secondary effects that go with them. So like if it's a crit, if it applies an ailment, if the enemy is weak to it, things like that. And the main things you want to look out for in this text is Curse, which Tao applies with his Dark Book skill. Curse is very important, and Resistance minus. So Claudia has a skill called Flageolet that just does Resistance minus like inherently, so that'll always hit. But the Thunderclap Seal, the lightning vulnerability debuff I was talking about before, that's a 5% chance. That can apply in any attack. So that's the main thing that you're looking out for in this battle and coming up in the final boss fight. That's basically your green light to go and start doing damage. Because that's your main it's your main choke point on damage since it's a luck-based thing.
Yeah. So just watch
And
for
you really need that up.
Watch for the thunder symbol at the top of the, or like the bottom of the HP bar, and the skull. There's some other debuffs, but that's the main two to watch out for to see if I strike or if I like try to do a lot of damage or not.
Yep. And Coral will likely be fairly excited when the debuff applies because
I'm cutting
if
it
it
so
doesn't show up,
close.
yeah.
It's okay, right? Surely the restreamer is fine with me going a little bit overestimate. Thanks,
Oh,
Ben.
it'll be fine.
If I jump in here real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
sure.
walk for a bit.
Alright, so we have a $28.87 donation from Ako saying, donating for Carl to say Yoshikuzu and John the next time Ryza says either of these. Also, you get to change outfit now. Shoutouts to Ruination. So that's brings White Lily of Summer back in the lead.
Oh no.
Technically.
Okay, I'm gonna make a
good
save.
time for this to happen.
I will make a
Yeah,
save.
that would be a good time. Yeah, definitely save before doing that.
I could just load a Queen save at this point. We're pretty much there, but you know.
Nah, it'll be fine.
Yeah, sounds good. Also, I just want to say that brings us to a grand total of $7,000
Oh, let's go.
raised in this marathon. So very epic. Good job, everyone.
Good job. That's really awesome.
Should I unmute the game for a bit so I can also mimic voice lines and be like completely and totally brain melted by doubling of voice and hearing my own voice?
I'm down. Oh wait, there it just happened. Yosh. What? Yeah, Yoshikuzo. Yeah. Alright.
Never mind, it's too delayed. I give up.
Oh, it just. How?
Did it just work?
It just worked!
It
This
just
game
worked.
sucks, man. This
Obviously,
game is
it's because this outfit's just better, right? It's built
Oh.
different.
I'm sure Ryu is just popping off right now. Yosh Ikuzo! There we go, see, I did it. I hope you're happy when I have to do the synthesis voice line like 4 times later.
That'll be great. Let's go. Yeah, unfortunately, when the final boss dies is not time in this game, because there is significant gameplay afterwards. So yeah. It's a little bit anticlimactic for the run, but it's just kind of the way things have to be. So yeah, there's still a bit of alchemy left.
Yeah,
But yeah, we are coming up on the final boss right here. It's a very final boss-ish looking area, isn't it?
yeah. So we're at the core of the underworld, I think, and then
Big staircase to Oblivion, giant eclipse in the
who's
background.
at the top? That person's at the top. Welcome with the queen, because we might be here for 7 minutes or 17 minutes. Oh, let's hope
Or
I get
like
lucky.
17 hours.
Oh well, if this
Surely not.
if this paralysis doesn't go
Alright,
off in
let's
17
go.
hours. Okay, good. We got it.
Alright, nice. First RNG check passed. Just barely. Ryza got it off. And so the first section of this fight's pretty calm. Like I mentioned before, kind of like the goal of the strategy is to get your tactics level up to 4. And that just happens over time as you stun the enemy. Every time it goes into breakdown, tactics level goes up by 1. And it needs to be 4 because that's when we get access to the curse ailment, which doubles damage. And we just need all the damage we can get, so almost there. And the main thing Coral is going to be on the lookout for is once again that lightning vulnerability. You
my
really want to
goodness.
see that quickly.
Yep, we're going in.
Going in? Is it all up? Oh my god, Ryza's a legend. Did it twice. So yeah, now that all 3 of the debuffs are up, you can see that every single lightning bell is doing a ton of damage. Whenever Ryza hits, whenever Ryza uses one, the lightning bell hits 4 times for 2,500 each. So it's about 10,000 damage per use. Ryza does more damage than the other party members because she's set up for it better. So you do want to make sure to throw more items with Ryza than anyone else. And since all the debuffs are up, he's just going.
Oh wait.
The boss has about 10,000 HP
Oh, actually,
left.
this is perfect, I think.
Looks good.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, you thought it was over. No, it's not over. This is the actual scary part. This is where Queen can be really rude, or she can just fall over. Because we have to apply our paralysis again. Everything's wiped.
Yeah.
Oh, the only thing that's not wiped is
The-
the tactics level.
Yeah. Boss is just like, wait, I'm not dead. I turn into a Sentai. It's very rude when you're playing this game casually, and suddenly you're like fighting tooth and nail against this giant bug monster, and then suddenly it just like transforms when you thought you won. So this phase is much faster, and it wipes all your debuffs when it transitions to phases. Now it's about like what, 200,000 HP or something. But thankfully, your tactics levels, your AP and stuff, that all carries over. So you don't need to start the fight from scratch. You just need to hope that paralysis applies to get the stun off, which it looks like it did. But now that the boss is stunned, everything should be fine as long as that resistance debuff shows up.
Yeah, this is a really good start right now.
Yep. So we are just waiting for that And once that's on, Coral will be able to just spam items and do damage.
Oh, go time. Let's go!
Oh, very nice. Pretty lucky to get it this early in the fight.
Yeah, this set of divas has been great.
Yeah.
I think a practice run like 2 hours ago, I beat this boss by one. I had one item left.
Yeah, this one looks like it's gonna be a pretty, what's the word I'm looking for?
Awesome.
You're gonna beat it by a lot. You have lots of breathing room here because of the debuff RNG. Anyone who's run this game before just knows the pain of trying to fight this boss and sitting on it for just like a minute, 2 minutes, just stunning it over and over again and not being able to actually do damage to it because your debuffs aren't up. It is very cool when that happens. So.
You don't miss. This is awesome.
Very nice. And yeah, another thing that can happen here is Tau is your only source of curse. That can miss. Probably at about like a 20% chance, I say. It misses like 20% of the time. So having that play every time as well is very nice.
I'll wait.
Yeah, it looks like now
Oh,
I
we're
was waiting
sorry.
for another lightning debuff to come up. It fell off, and it hasn't been reapplied yet, so. But the beginning of the fight was good enough that it should be fine. The boss is down to like 20% now. Has 40,000 HP left. Crazy.
Okay. I was just checking items.
Yeah. And I mentioned this before, but you really do get down to the wire here on items. Coral has consumed most of his items at this point. 7 out of the 8 available, so he has 10 lightning bell uses left, which should be enough to finish off the fight, but it might be a little bit close if he doesn't get a lightning vulnerability up right now.
Oh, yep, right now. I was delayed right as he said that.
Very cool. So yeah, this will be a just clean final boss kill. It's definitely not as difficult to do this fight as the dragon, but it's absolutely scarier. It's right at the end of the run, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But that was very clean.
Wait. Yeah, I forgot to convert. Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Jesus.
A little bit scary. Almost ran out of AP. But yeah. Very cool. GG. And yeah, he had 4 item uses left there. So you get 45 total for that fight, and he used 41. Can get really tight with like slightly worse RNG, so.
Yeah, my
Very cool.
My debuffs fell off hard at the end.
Right. And yeah, it's not quite time left. There's about like 9 more minutes of gameplay. But the rest is pretty trivial, so we should be coming in a few minutes below estimate. Very cool.
Wait, what's our time right now?
2:53.
What? I almost sub 3 with that. No way.
Yep.
That's such. I guess this run was pretty good. Like almost all the fights were good. I mean, Dragon 1 was super lucky, but I needed that.
Yeah. It was definitely a solid run overall. The main thing that sucked was the the like 10-minute loading screen.
I don't know why it hated me.
I don't know either.
Oh wait, I can just make breadstones. I forgot. I forgot redstones exist.
こんな感じか
Yeah.
なんか上達してきた気がするどうしようかなさあ何を入れそう何を入れるのがいいかなそういい感じかもこれうまくいくかなやったできた
There should be some coming up shortly.
Oh, I
I'll
didn't
just
say
need
it.
to remember to do it.
I didn't
You
say it.
it.
I didn't say it.
You're letting down the fans.
John! Alright, that was so good, I think.
よし
It was impeccable.
Thank you.
ねえどこに行くんだいよし
Alright, you get one more from me.
何を入れるのがいいかいいものできそうな予感何を入れるのがいいそういい感じかもさあ何をいいものできそうな予感何を入れるのがいいかないいものできそうさあ何を入れよう
And the
Alright,
other item right here, this item Coral's making right now, is what all of the XP grinding earlier was for. This is the item that requires level 50.
Oh yeah, back to the story, because you all were here for that, right? So we just made that,
Everyone-
and now we get to restore the core. Like we get to make sure that the island doesn't, fall over and sink. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Wasn't there something about this, like, also powering, like, a water filtration system or whatever?
Oh yeah, there it is, right
So
there.
they can return the water to the underworld because they don't need it anymore. Something about water.
Yeah, they had water the whole time. They just didn't realize it.
よし
Yeah. Yeah, there's the water.
どこに行くんだ
All right, we say
And
goodbye.
then just sort of, yep, saying goodbye to everyone, wrapping things up.
Shut the portal down, and yeah, and no one ever knew.
どこに行くんだい
And everyone's like, alright, Ryza, see ya. And Ryza was forever alone from this point onwards. What a happy ending.
True. Until like 3 years later.
Yeah. I can't believe that's actually the ending of this game. Literally, everyone's just like, alright, that was fun. Bye, Ryza. We're gonna do our own thing now. And Ryza just is lonely. Very happy and progress ending.
Is the story at least like continued in Ryza 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Most of the main cast is
Ryza's
brought
like,
back.
I'm tired of being lonely, so she goes to the big city to meet up with all her friends again.
Nice.
よし行くぞ
Sub 3? Unfortunately, not quite.
Not quite because
Because
these
the
are
timing
long.
rules suck.
This would be sub 3 on timing rules. Just so you know,
Yeah.
on different timing rules.
I need to get those changed, actually.
Yeah, every time I run, give me my 2-3 eggs.
I don't want to retime all the runs. Oh, that would give you 2-3x, wouldn't it?
よし
Please, I'm not beating that run. That run was like good for my standards.
Just get a better computer and beat it immediately.
That's too hard.
どこに行くんだ
What are the timing rules even? So, yeah, so timing ends basically,
どこに行く
after you finish the game,
Yosh,
it'll
Ikuzo.
come up with a prompt that is like, do you want to save your data? And that's when timing ends. Honestly, it should be before the cutscenes leading up to that, but that's just how it is. That's like pretty standard timing rules for JRPGs though. Just a very traditional thing. Because yeah, there's enough significant gameplay after the final boss that you can't really do timing at the final boss kill, unfortunately.
Forgot that's not a skip, it's a mash.
But yeah, just after the set of cutscenes here.
Alright, there it is. Oh no, there's still dialogue!
Good luck, Carl.
Alright, there we go. Now it's over. Alright, yeah, that was Ryza. That was Atelier Ryza, new game legend. And I was on Legend, trust me. You saw me die.
Definitely was. Yeah, I'll say time. Or Coral will say time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not time yet.
Oh yeah, it's not time yet.
That's where time should be, more or less, but yeah, it's not yet. You mean? Oh well.
It's
Probably
okay.
about a 301, 302, something like that. But yeah, timing is like after these cutscenes.
Just like remove the part where my game flopped and it's like a 2-4x, I think, maybe. I don't even know how long that was.
Yeah, that was a while. Felt bad. Oh my god, new world record 0000 with a
Oh my god, I found the game skip. That's awesome. I found credits warp.
with a quit and load a different save.
Yeah.
The game. But yeah, Ryza, great game, by the way. This game is super fun, even just casually. If you like games with crafting in them, if you like just like sort of chill, relaxing games, this game is pretty fantastic. Just a very solid JRPG all around.
This game's pretty fun to speedrun too. This is the farthest thing away from Celeste, and yet I love it. It's fun. The routes really cool. Like the fights are engaging. It's different. It's like a different type of RPG game. It's fun. But it does take like 3 hours per run, so you know.
3 hours per run is like super on the short end for RPGs though.
You run Lulua. You run.
Imagine playing like
Lydian
Final
Sue All
Fantasy X or
Advanced.
something,
Or no, fucking Sophie All
and your run's
Advanced.
10 hours long.
Should I skip the credits? I probably should.
Probably. I think you technically have enough time before the estimate, but not a ton, so yeah, probably just skip them.
Yeah. Alright, oh, the timer broke? Okay, sick.
Yeah, the timer broke.
I'll just say time anyway. It'll
Yeah,
be
so
for,
everyone knows where time would have been.
It'll be for immersion.
Ryza gives us a nice little smile right here. She's like, thanks. Come back soon. Ryza is very cute.
Time! We did it.
Yay. Time.
We
We did it.
Good run, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Considering the... I was afraid I was gonna like just not finish after the first half, but it's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
very awesome. Thank you for the run. Do you have anything you want to say? Any shoutouts?
Shoutouts to ARCHIETHON, shoutouts to Archie, shoutouts to Kane. Shoutouts to Lily for helping me run this game. I think in my notes it literally says for the final boss, consult Lily for this, which is, you know, give this game a shot. It's fun if you are into longer runs like that. Also, thanks Eric and Ben for dealing with my technical difficulties. That was kind of rough, but we did it.
Yeah, thanks for the host. We made it through.
Great. And where can people find both of you?
I don't stream anymore.
I stopped
Fair enough.
streaming, but yeah, I guess twitch.tv/koralreef, I guess. But
Yeah.
you'll probably just find me like either in random Celeste like
Get
Celeste
strats
or-
and time saves at
True.
twitch.tv/koralreef/subscribe.
Sure. I recommend giving
Awesome.
Lily a follow too if you're into more of the Atelier stuff, because she does run a lot of it. Yeah.